You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You know what you are? You're a popcorn salesman.
Worldwide Sports Radio presents the home stretch.
All right, let's hit the field.
With Tyler and friends.
This mix, Boomer.
With the first choice in the 2004 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Eli Manning, cornerback, Mississippi.
Well,
hello! Welcome to the home stretch. I'm your host, Tyler Harrison, and along with my co-host / rejoicing.
Rejoicing?
Rejoicing?
Oh, I heard rejoicing.
Me too.
That word sounded better.
Rejoicing?
I think
Co-host.
I'm just going to roll with rejoicing. That
All right,
word
that's
sounds
fine.
amazing.
All right, thank you. I'm known for that, so that's good. Speedy Petey to my left. A lot to get to. Eli Manning retiring today is by far the most important thing today. We went from Cooperstown to Canton, Ohio in 24 hours, right? So that's really huge to celebrate Derek Jeter and now to remember Eli Manning. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, there's a lot to get to. So today, Eli Manning's going to be the top story today. And I'm sure I'm in the minority when I say about Eli Manning. Antonio Brown strikes again. We were going to talk about it Tuesday. Obviously, we got kind of pushed away from it, which, happens time to time. The Astros situation gets even worse for Major League Baseball. I mean, really, how stupid can you possibly be? I made fun of you once. Now I get to do it again, and now I'm going to be even more direct because you're retarded. That's where I'll start with that. Now, the Mets have a new manager. I don't know how to feel about that. And, of course, Zion Williamson debuts tonight. So those are all the hot commodities in sports right now. And I have the ballot of the one man that did not vote for Derek Jeter.
It has been revealed.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
This ballot's absolutely a joke. I mean, everything I said yesterday times 6.
Let me think. Let me guess. Maybe he voted only steroid users on?
No.
No?
You wait till I read this. You wait till I read this ballot. Just wait. I'm probably going to end the show with it because it's hysterical. And I don't mean it in a good way. But we do have a tradition here on the home stretch. If you do want to call and talk about Eli Manning or anything at all, period, 1-845. Is that a 4?
1845, yep.
1-845-478-3272 is the number to call. I know that's not the number that was there last week. I don't know what to tell you. They changed numbers here. I don't know really what to do. But it's okay. The show must go on. So we will go on. A lot. Not a lot. All right. There's a lot actually going on right now. All right. Okay. So we're going to start in hockey because there's no games in hockey today whatsoever. This is actually going to be a really good hockey game, though. The Winnipeg Jets and Columbus Blue Jackets are on right now. There's about 3 minutes left in the second period. And a lot of our favorite players are here. Kyle O'Connor has scored for the Winnipeg Jets. Seth Jones has scored for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Mason Appleton has scored for the Winnipeg Jets. But he was assisted by Mateo Peralta.
Matthew Perot.
Matthew Perot. Whatever. Screw it. All right. But I like Peralta. I can't pronounce his name, but I like him. And the Detroit Red Wings and Minnesota Wild are tied at 0. That's really it. Those are the hockey games on right now. So if you like hockey, you're not going to find a good game today.
Oh, it's close to the All-Star break for them, too, so there's not going to be as many. I think last day.
When is it, next week?
No, I think it's this weekend, I think.
Oh, all right. Good.
It's usually the same weekend as the Pro Bowl.
There you go. Now, this is going to be bad. Now we go to college basketball, right? So there's a couple good games, believe it or not. At 9 o'clock, Rutgers. That's right, Rutgers. They're ranked for the first time in, 100 years?
Since 1979.
It's a long time. So 24 Rutgers takes on number 19 Iowa, and I'm actually taking Rutgers. I think Rutgers is going to do it. Number 20 Memphis takes on Tulsa, also at 9 o'clock. At 8:30 on FS1, number 10 Seton Hall. Remember that name? They're going to make a pretty good tourney run, I think. They take on Providence. Right now, currently, number 6 Louisville is trailing to Georgia Tech 45-39 with 16 minutes left in the second half. I don't think they're going to win this basketball game. That's just me.
Louisville?
I think Georgia Tech's going to win them. Yeah.
All right.
In the second half, also, number 16 Auburn's up 44-38 over South Carolina. On ESPNU, you can watch that game. Auburn should win this one pretty easily, I think. I'm surprised it's even that close. And then, of course,
South Carolina just upset Kentucky last week. They're always pesky.
Yeah, you're right. And then, of course, there's the game that everyone wants to watch on CBS, right? Number 7, Dayton Flyers take on. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what this team is.
I think it's St. Bonaventure.
It is St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
Good job, Speedy. They're third in the Atlantic 10.
Well,
and here's some breaking news,
they've
right?
been in the tournament a lot.
They are, but we're gonna continue with Around the World in Sports. But let me get this out first. There has been an arrest warrant issued for Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is officially wanted by the Florida police.
Wow.
Antonio Brown is, again, there are officially there is a warrant out for Antonio Brown. He is officially going to be arrested by the Florida police. So I guess we will alter with the show and we will continue Around the World in Sports. And instead of celebrating Eli Manning first, we will disintegrate Antonio Brown first. Dayton is up 65-38 over St. Bonaventure, as Speedy alluded to. And then there's the NBA. At halftime, the Detroit Pistons are up 57-50 over the Sacramento Kings. Also at halftime, tied at 50-50. The Philadelphia 76ers are tied with the Toronto Raptors. Yes, I did that on purpose. And
There's a 50-50 shot of which team will win.
Yes, 50-50. And I guarantee you it is on a team in the Atlantic Conference.
Good job.
They're the same conference, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. The third quarter, Oklahoma City, I'm telling you, I don't know why, but this team's playing phenomenal. They are playing out of their minds. I can't explain why. They're up 66-61. It's only the Orlando Magic, but the team as a whole has played great. They just beat the Rockets like 2 nights ago.
The fact that they made it this far, even as the 7th seed, is impressive. It's still going to be tough to hold on. I think
Chris Paul's going to get traded. There's no doubt.
Not only that, I think Portland will have a surge at some point.
Oh, yes.
And steal that spot. Yes. But who knows? They could even get the 8.
Listen, the big Golden State's bad health is giving up a spot, so somebody's going to take it.
Right.
But, yeah, absolutely amazing season. And Bill Donovan's still the coach, right?
Yep.
Phenomenal job. And Chris Paul has earned all the money he's going to get. So those two deserve a ton of credit. The Los Angeles Clippers are up 41-23 over the Hawks. This game's going to be, by the way, no Kawhi, no Paul George, and no Pat Beverly, and they're still beating the crap out of them. And there's 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Good luck.
That depth was tested last year.
Yeah, that team's great.
They're still showing it.
In the second quarter, Memphis is up 42-41 over the Boston Celtics. They're a second-half team. I'm not worried. The second quarter, also, Miami is up 43-33 over Bradley Beal and the Wizards. It's now Bradley Beal and the Wizards. It's Bradley Beal's. It's like the Jackson 5. It's Michael Jackson and his 4 brothers. That's literally how this team needs to be remembered. It's Bradley Beal and then 4 guys that no one wants.
Is Bradley Beal going to get the Whit Merrifield treatment?
Yes. Yes, he is. The New York Knicks are up 38-33 over the Los Angeles Lakers at the Garden.
Well, that won't last long.
No, it probably won't. But
let's celebrate it now, Knicks fans.
Yeah, celebrate now. But I hope the Knicks win. LeBron doesn't deserve it. Anyway, just kidding. No, I'm not. The Chicago Bulls are up 12-10. The game just started. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. The Denver Nuggets are up 13-9 over the Rockets. The game just started. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And the Indiana Pacers take on the Phoenix Suns. At 9 o'clock, at 9:30, Zion Williamson makes his debut against the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich. Tonight, ESPN, 9:30, don't miss it. And then at 10 o'clock, Donovan Mitchell, the Spider-Man, takes on Golden State and D'Angelo Russell. But due to the fact that our show's been completely screwed up by Antonio Brown, we're going to take a three-minute break, get everything shuffled again, and we'll be right back on the home stretch.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And manage a baseball team.
Little League.
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, welcome back to the home stretch. Again, Antonio Brown kind of altered the whole way the show's going. So we will now start with the breaking news that he is under arrest. Again, Around the World in Sports is brought to you by New York Sports Scene. We're all over it. Go to their website. They've got a lot of other articles revolving sports. They're all over the place. And I believe we have our own part of the network, our own part of the website, right?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah, it says WWSRN or however the spelling is.
I know Errol mentioned it a while ago. I don't know if it actually is official now, but
No, we're on there.
okay.
1815. No, I did it again. Oh my God, I'm done with the address. I'm done. 150 Motor Parkway, Hop Hog, New York. Blah 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 blah. Snugs alert. All right, here we go. Let me guess. The one man who didn't vote for Derek Jeter was Junior Beef. He probably suggested his career would just have been better in San Diego, just like Tom Brady. Hashtag ban Junior and Senior Beef.
That was good.
That was funny. What happened to Junior Beef?
I don't know.
No, well,
Maybe he moved to San Diego.
don't tempt me with a good time.
Maybe he was afraid that we would scrutinize him for him thinking that Eli Manning's career would have been better there too.
So, yeah, I have the bout. We are going to start, though, with Antonio Brown, as I mentioned before. The breaking news of today right now is that Antonio Brown is officially a wanted man. The Florida police have put out a warrant for his arrest, and they want him in jail. This is coming about 24 hours to the date that he had another altercation at his house. And I believe yesterday or earlier this afternoon, his ex-girlfriend, whatever she is to him, mother of his children, said he really needs help. He needs to go to mental rehab, which is what I've been saying now for about 2 weeks. So, let me just clarify this. I am going to tell you the story. I just read it about 45 minutes, an hour ago, because I did want to get all the details. The story that's being reported is that Antonio Brown had a delivery shipped to his house, refused the payment of $4,000. The driver said, "So you're not going to get your stuff. I'm going to drive away." As he was driving away, Antonio Brown threw rocks at the truck. And his trainer, who ultimately did get arrested yesterday, somehow they got the keys. He also apparently the guy is claiming that he got scratches and nicked up in the altercation. They wanted his keys. Antonio Brown and his trainer unloaded his stuff off the truck, and he also damaged other items on the truck as well as to items that belonged to other people on the delivery route. And when the police came, Antonio Brown buried himself in his house and did not come out at all. As we all know, yesterday the Florida police were swarming his house, and Antonio Brown did not come to the door. So now, 24 hours later, almost exactly 24 hours later, the police have issued a warrant for Antonio Brown's arrest. And this situation went from comical to very serious over a very short amount of time. We all kind of... on a personal level for Antonio Brown. I'm not talking to the football player. I'm not talking to AB. I'm not talking to the Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm not talking to the Oakland Raider. I'm definitely not talking to the New England Patriot. I'm talking to Antonio Brown, the human being, the 6th-round pick that during his draft process, everyone raved about his commitment to football and everything else. That guy. The guy that fought and clawed his way to become one of the best receivers in football. I'm talking to that Antonio Brown. You need to find yourself, and you need to find yourself real quick. Not for you. If not for you, it should be for you, but if not for you, for your kids. Because right now they're looking at you like you're a monster. And the media's painting you out to be a monster. And quite frankly, there's really no alternative to you not being a monster. You've lost your damn mind. I had your back about the helmet thing. I often said that Odell was the best receiver in football because, unlike you, Odell Beckham Jr. put the team first. Odell Beckham Jr. didn't do this stuff. Odell Beckham Jr. just wanted the football in his hands to win the football game, which any star athlete will tell you is what they want. Odell Beckham Jr. did not request a trade from the New York Giants. Odell Beckham Jr. signed a contract extension to be there and was so heartbroken when he got traded to the Giants, he kind of didn't even want to go to OTAs in Cleveland. That Odell Beckham Jr. is why I said is the best receiver in football. You got traded to Oakland. I loved it for the Raiders because I thought Derek Carr finally gets an elite weapon. Derek Carr's name will get brought out of the mud it's been in for a couple months now. And I don't know what happened to you. You went from being a respected headache to the laughingstock of the NFL to now a serious, serious problem. And I hope you get help. I don't know if it's CTE. I don't know if it's concussions. I don't know what your problem is. I hope you find help. That's me talking to Antonio Brown. I hope, if he's not going to, but if he ever heard this, I hope that he would, go, oh, well, damn. Everyone's telling me I need help. Maybe I'll get some help. But you definitely need help. I defended you about the helmet situation because I didn't really think it mattered what helmet you wore.
Right, it's your own risk.
Yeah, so I didn't really care if you wanted to wear an outdated helmet or not. But Antonio Brown's problem is much bigger than Antonio Brown's. And again, I think this goes out to a lot of people. This started in such a small, minute way that not no one, because I know somebody, if he hears this clip, is going to go, no, I told you. You did. But this started as a small problem that even I didn't even really go, you know what, that could be a bad trend. I didn't think anything of it. Let's go back to when Antonio Brown was filming in the locker room and Mike Tomlin had no idea. After they beat, that was after a Patriot game, right?
No, that was before the Patriots. They played the Patriots in the AFC Championship. That was after they beat the Chiefs in the second round. But they were taking shots at the Patriots.
Well, that was a bad idea, yeah.
Well, of course. We knew
it's always a bad idea. But
for a team that already has a bad identity against the Patriots as it is,
right.
already taking shots at them, yeah, okay. Yeah, that had blowout written all over it.
But it did start there, and I do want everyone to realize one thing. This is a very serious problem. I think Antonio Brown. Remember when Antonio Brown did that on social media? It was like the number one viewed thing of that year. He had more viewers on Instagram that day watching that than any other Instagram story. Now, maybe because of Antonio Brown, maybe it was because of what he was doing, and it was cool, and everyone was like, oh, my God, do they know that he's filming this? But
people were in support, like, yeah, you tell those Patriots.
Well,
because, yeah.
All of Steeler Nation was hyped up at that time.
No, not even that, just people that don't like the Patriots.
Well, that's 99% of the country.
We're probably just rolling with it.
But Antonio Brown, I think, found this disease that everyone else has found. Social media is a problem. It's a serious problem. Now, it's weird because we're a streaming network, so we need social media, so I apologize in advance if I'm going to rub feathers here. But Antonio Brown is just doing what teenagers do. They want the appreciation. They want that self-fulfilling prophecy of, oh, my God, yes, people like me right now. Antonio Brown didn't really start getting negative reviews till like 2 weeks ago. No one really clowned Antonio Brown until the instance in front of his house with the cops, with the bag of whatever they were. That's when people went, okay, man, now you've lost it. Now you've actually lost it.
They were still suspicious of him before that, though.
No, but it wasn't overwhelming. Now it's overwhelming. Like, okay, man, you're out of your mind.
It's not overwhelming in the fact that this is a legal issue, but when he said what he said to Mike Mayock, and when the rape story came out, I think they were really saying, "All right, this guy has issues. This guy's a problem, an off-field issue."
Yeah, but a lot of people probably just said it was Mike. Now, I'm not saying that Mike Mayock doesn't deserve blame here, but a lot of people kind of just assumed Antonio Brown was being Antonio Brown. Mike Mayock, he didn't bring it on by any means, but I'm sure there's more to that story than just Antonio Brown bugging out.
That's fine, but it's still kind of uncalled for to say that, regardless.
Absolutely. I'm not condoning anything Antonio Brown says.
And then obviously the rape thing that's a crime in itself.
Right. No, you're right.
This is maybe the biggest one, so I can see where you're coming from with that, but it's not the first one. Because I agree with you on the helmet thing, and the foot thing was really, all right, he was skipping practice, which a lot of people do, and he had an issue with the machine, which had foot problems. So that really wasn't a big deal. And then, like I said, I'm in the minority with you. I agree with you on the helmet thing, but everything else kind of has some legal precedence to it.
Now, I know what you just said about the legal ramification of this. There's no way, and to be quite honest with you, Antonio Brown can start remanding everything right now. If he turns himself in, this looks... There are steps Antonio Brown can take to repairing his image. And let's just quickly go to the NFL side of this, right? He's not going to get a job till at least 2022. He's not going to be employed next year. At the rate he's going, he's not going to be employed ever again. But he can work on getting another job because Antonio Brown, despite what he says, does want to play in the NFL. Okay? 2 weeks ago, he tried out for the Saints. Let's not forget that. 2 weeks ago, he tried out for the Saints. He wants to play in professional football. And to be quite honest with you, if you watch his workouts, he's still going to be electric when he touches the field. So there's going to be a team that goes, you know what? We'll give you a small contract if you can prove to us that you can play, and we'll pay you after that. There will be a team that takes a chance on him. No question about it. But he needs to start showing some sort of, all right, I've lost my way. This is going to go one of two ways. Either Antonio Brown's going to go the straight and narrow way, or Antonio Brown's going to have a tragic path down the road. Hopefully, somebody can get into Antonio Brown's head and steer him that way. Because right now, the only person Antonio Brown's listening to is Antonio Brown. And that's the problem. Someone needs to go to Antonio Brown. And you know what's nuts? He's constantly around other people. His trainer was there. Like, why wouldn't his trainer grab him and be like, yo, man, stop. Knock it off. The video in front of his house. His kids were there. The mother of his children were there. No one grabs this guy and just says, hey, man, you're out there now. You're losing your mind. Now I get it. The helmet thing was, I think, poorly portrayed by the media because it made him look like a Looney Tune. Okay? In hindsight, we get it. But at the time, I didn't think that the media did a fair job portraying that. The Mike Mayock thing, arguments happen at work all the time. Pay gets involved. Antonio Brown probably was very upset that, I understood that. But again, I wouldn't personally do it, but I understood why Antonio Brown would have a gripe. Got it. Then he gets released. Then he signs with the Patriots. Okay. He's going to straighten out. Now everyone straightens out when they go to the Patriots or they get cut. Bam. Then that report of the sexual assault happens. That's when I said he might have a point that people are out to get him. Because that happened 2 years ago, and now you're saying it when he's about to go on a Super Bowl winning team. That's ridiculous. Now, in hindsight, Antonio Brown probably just had all these bombshells going off at once, and he's snapped. Again, someone needs to go to Antonio Brown and say, enough's enough. You need to stop. You need to go away. Just go away. Just go away. We talked about this yesterday. Conor McGregor.
Errol's boy.
Well, Conor McGregor is the greatest showman on the planet right now. Any fight he's in, the UFC is going to draw from it. Any fight. Conor McGregor had to go away. Dana White had to push Conor McGregor away. You need to rebrand your image. You're out there now. Go away. Whether Dana White or Conor McGregor came to that deal by himself, I don't know. Somebody told Conor McGregor, you need to stop. Conor McGregor is a very brash, very electric personality, and Conor McGregor has no problem telling you he's going to knock you out and has no problem telling you what he thinks. This is a guy that's called out moms, dads, cousins, nephews, anybody. He's taken shots at anything that moves. I appreciate it. I love Conor McGregor. Do not take this as a bashing Conor McGregor. I love Conor McGregor. I think he's good for any kind of promotion that you can make from yourself. Go ahead.
We have one Conor McGregor basher that's worth 20 people. So.
Yeah, well, he's alone here. But anyway, Conor McGregor, his image was too far out there. It was too negative to the point where people were. It's not like Floyd Mayweather when people were like, damn, he talks too much. I want to see him get knocked out. That's not what the Conor McGregor became. I hate this guy. I'm not going to watch him no more. That's when Conor McGregor stepped away. Conor McGregor's first presser back. I respect the cowboy. We're going to go out there. We're going to put on a show. May the best man win. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. And I hope he is too. We're going to put on a great show, and we're ready to go. Who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is that? That's not Conor McGregor. That's a machine. Who the hell was that? That's not the Conor McGregor I know. Who was that? Who the hell was that? Goes in there, knocks him out 40 seconds, blah, 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 blah. The UFC, oh, look, Conor McGregor. Oh, look, McGregor's back, blah, blah, blah. McGregor, oh, yeah. Now, we talked about yesterday, the fight's fixed and everything like that. That's not the point we're making here. Conor McGregor repaired his image. I haven't drank in 3 to 4. I was drinking every night. I was doing this, doing that. I haven't touched a drink. I'm not drinking anymore. I'm just focused on fighting. I'm a fighter. I'm going to focus on fighting. I've lost my way. I'm back now. I'm focused on fighting. Ariel Helwani, I think the greatest UFC interviewer there is. Great job. Even his wrestling interviews are great. That plus the press conference, then the 40 seconds, nothing brash, sit on the knee, oh, I'm back, thank you, God, blah, 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 blah. Boom, Conor McGregor, image repaired in about a week and a half. You want to bring up all the legal trouble he had last year? Or 2 years ago? America's very forgiving very quickly. Somebody needs to get Antonio Brown's head and say, all right, listen. 3 steps here to repairing your image. Turn yourself in right now. Go down to the Miami police, wherever the hell he lives. Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. Okay, I'm going to go turn myself in. Boom. All right. Get some sort of agreement so you don't go to jail, and pay whatever you need to pay to get it done. Just pay for all the damages you've caused. All right, I'll pay for it. All right. Go off social media and do not say another word until 2020 season starts. Go away. Do not peep for another 6 to 12 months. Antonio Brown, you cannot talk for 6 to 12 months on social media. You have to go away. If you do all 3 of these things, by 2021, no one's going to remember this whole entire 8-month span you've had. Go away. Not to jail, not to do anything else. Pay off the damages, turn yourself in any order you'd like, go away. Stay off social media, get your head right, and do not say another word publicly, negatively, about anything. I don't care if it's about how the Chick-fil-A sandwich isn't very good. I don't care what it's about. I don't care if it's about, oh, well, Starbucks didn't give me a cappuccino. I don't care what you say. Do not go on social media for the next 6 to 8 months and say a word. That's how you repair your image. Go away.
Yeah, don't bring Chick-fil-A into this.
Chick-fil-A is delicious.
I agree.
But the mass media is sick of you. The more you do, the more they're going to bury on you. You haven't figured that out yet, so I'm going to tell you, stay away from the media. Don't tweet, don't Instagram, don't Facebook, don't anything. Don't take videos, don't go on TikTok, don't go on Venmo, don't do a damn thing. Throw your phone in the water, it's gone, don't touch anything. Throw it away. Spend the time with your kids. Repair your wife. I don't care what you do. Take care of all the legal trouble you have now, because if you don't, you're done. And I don't mean in football, I mean in life. You need a relapse of the worst kind. You need to just go away. Go away. You need to go away. Eli Manning just retired. Call Eli Manning about how to conduct yourself. Eli Manning lived here for 15 years. I don't even remember he played football half that time. You never heard a word from Eli Manning. Guess where Eli Manning's going to go? Canton, Ohio. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. You are more skilled than Eli Manning at your craft, and guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be the ultimate Terrell Owens because you're never going to get in. Not the rate you're going. You need to stop. Because if you don't stop, I fear that you're going to end up like Aaron Hernandez. I've been saying this now for 2 weeks. You need to stop. Not for anyone else but yourself. You need to stop. You're on a dangerous, dangerous path. Dangerous. Because you don't even realize how loose you are right now. You think you're completely sane. That's the scariest part. You're out there, man. You're out there. You need to go away. Again, get off everything. Don't tweet, don't Instagram, don't even announce that you're turning yourself in. Just go. Just go. You need to not be heard. I don't care if you make a mistake. I don't care if you can do whatever you want in the privacy of your home, by all means. Don't make it public. Whatever happens in your house stays in your house. Wherever you go out to eat, let TMZ report it. Let Fox report it. Let NBC report it. You don't do anything. Stay off everything. I'm not trying to get you back in football. I'm trying to make sure you don't do nothing stupid in the next 12 years. You need to stop and really soak in the fact that you have gone too far. And if no one else hears this message, if you know Antonio Brown, then you contact Antonio Brown. Somebody needs to help Antonio Brown. Somebody that really likes Antonio Brown needs to get in his ear and be like, yo, man, you're going too far. You need to stop. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, whoever the hell it is, somebody needs to get in his head and get him to stop. I feel like I've said the same thing for 15 minutes, but clearly the message is lost. Antonio Brown needs to go away. And honestly, maybe when he turns himself in, he spends a day or so in jail, it'll click. But until it clicks in Antonio Brown's head, I don't know what to say about Antonio Brown. But this will be the last story I reported on Antonio Brown. Mark that down, write it down. This show will no longer talk about Antonio Brown after this. I'm not going to help fuel a negative persona of him anymore. This is not me bashing Antonio Brown. This is me hoping Antonio Brown figures out his life so he stops acting like a lunatic for his kids' sakes. I grew up with one parent, and it's insanely, insanely tough. I don't want another kid to go through that. That's one thing. And number two, he was a good guy. He was a very good teammate. He was a very good spokesman for football. Something happened to him that made him change. He wasn't always this way. So hopefully he can change back, but this is the last time I'll mention Antonio Brown's name until there's some sort of construction done to his persona. Because right now, I fear the next story I have to read about Antonio Brown won't be very good. There's really no easy way to segue out of that. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we go from the breaking, shocking news of Antonio Brown to more breaking, shocking news of the retirement of New York Giant great Eli Manning. We will break down the career of Eli Manning, the highs, the lows, the incompletions, the touchdowns, the interceptions, and we will tackle, yes, pun intended, we will not be the New England Patriots. We will wrap him up. We will tackle the question of if Eli Manning belongs in Canton, Ohio. If you want to call, 1-845-478-3272 is the number to call. And we want to hear all your opinions. You'll find out ours next on the home stretch.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
I manage a baseball team.
Little League?
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, welcome back to the home stretch. I'm your host, Tyler Harrison, along with, I was waiting for him to say his name, Speedy Petey, co-host / producer /
I thought you were thinking of something to say. So
No.
You usually think of something creative.
I don't have a creative bone in my body. I'm just kidding. That's a freaking lie. But anyway. Zion Williamson's debut starts in about 45 minutes. 45 minutes till Zion's first game officially in the NBA. We will briefly talk about other highly anticipated rookie debuts. We actually had a few this year and a few over the course of recent history. But we'll talk about our favorites, least favorites, blah, 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 blah. But first, the bigger news today, till about 20 minutes ago, Eli Manning, New York Giant quarterback for about 15 years to the day, is calling it retirement. I was going to say calling it quits, but that's not really a nice thing to say, I guess, right? Okay, so we won't do that. Eli Manning had a record 222 consecutive starts till Ben McAmack ruined that.
I just call him Mac a dumbass.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to steal your nickname. That's not nice. I hate when people steal mine.
Believe me, I have about like 8 different nicknames for him.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But Eli Manning, he was the number 1 overall draft pick in the 2004 draft by the San Diego Chargers. Yes, they're in San Diego.
Okay, the least clutch team in football.
Yes. You know what? Maybe Eli could have fixed that.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe. The son of Archie Manning, the brother of Peyton Manning. Again, he was traded to the New York Giants for Phillip Rivers. You can debate who won or lost the trade, even though I think it's quite clear who won the trade. Eli Manning has 2 seasons of under 3,000 yards. His rookie year where he started 7 games, and this year where he played 4 games. Eli Manning ends his career with 57,023 yards, 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions, 37 game-winning drives, and 27 fourth-quarter comebacks. Obviously a 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, a 4-time Pro Bowler. So ultimately, the question now goes, what happens to Eli's career after this? We've had a lot of retirements already this year. Antonio Gates, he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He'll get in.
Yeah, all-time touchdown leader for a tight end.
Yeah,
of course he has to get in.
Luke Kuechly will. I think Luke Kuechly will get in
if the trend stays.
If the trend stays.
This last week.
We did. But again, we have to announce what we said. And now Eli Manning, also retiring. I'm going to let you go first. Speedy, obviously, as a non-closet Giant fan, you have a stronger opinion about this.
Eli Manning, hats off to a great career. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of scrutiny lately, probably the last 5 years, with a lot of Giants fans wanting you out. I was not one of them. I stuck by you for a while with all the post-Coughlin bad things that ended up happening. Eli, you were always a very durable quarterback, 200 whatever consecutive games until he who will not be named screwed that up. Or one of the 8 nicknames I'll use for you to bash you. But always durable despite some very bad offensive lines. Even the Super Bowl 46 championship offensive line was Will Beatty, Kevin Booth, and a lot of backups. So you even amidst through that, you ended up being very durable throughout your whole career. Very good leader. I think that was it's a very hard thing to do in New York, to be a consistent leader, and you did that to the finest of levels with many different receivers, many different running backs throughout your career. Obviously, Tom Coughlin had a lot to do with it too, but you were definitely there the whole time. A lot of great statistical years. Again, not top 5 quarterback stats, but definitely top 10 throughout your whole career. Interceptions, yeah, okay, whatever. You still threw for a lot of yards. Very sophisticated thrower, could make many different throws, was very clutch, and that was, I think, the biggest thing that is taken away from Eli Manning. People don't realize how clutch he is. You just referenced the one game in the Super Bowl all the time, okay, but he was doing it before that too, and he was doing it after that as well. And obviously the 2 Super Bowls, you weren't necessarily the best player in either of those games, but you were, again, very clutch, really resilient, and great mentally down the stretch, and I think that's what you could take away from him as a guy, as a quarterback as a whole, no matter where he's marked in history. And I think he will be a Hall of Famer, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer. No matter how many times it'll take him to get in, I don't know, but he was clutch, great playoff quarterback, was never the reason the Giants lost in the playoffs at all. He was, even in that Packers game, that bad blowout, or that even in his his second season, their first playoff game where they got smoked by Carolina. None of those games were his fault. I really think he was a great playoff performer, just a great leader, great guy, and his numbers speak for itself too. 366 touchdowns, 57,000 yards, is top 10 all time. I think it's number 8 if I remember correctly. And just all around, well-deserved of being a Hall of Famer for sure. Absolutely great career for Eli Manning. Again, never top 5, but definitely top 10 quarterback for most of his prime. And I think a Hall of Famer and the best quarterback in New York Giants history, and it's been an absolute pleasure watching you for 15 seasons that I got to see you play. I didn't see much of your rookie year, but the 15 seasons after that, it was an absolute pleasure to watch you play, Eli. Hats off to you. Great career.
All right, maybe I should have went first. But in all seriousness, I think you hit the nail on the head. To be completely undisclosed, and I can get people on here that will vouch for this, I didn't like Eli Manning. I didn't want him here. I didn't want to have him as my quarterback. I actually told my dad and brothers I will never root for the Giants until Eli Manning leaves. Which is why I became a Saints fan, because I was sick and tired of Eli Manning after 3 years. But again, I was 13, 14 years old. Didn't really care about how to conduct yourself. I didn't really care about, being a quiet leader. I didn't really care. This is the same time I didn't like Tom Brady. Okay, so give me a break. But watching Eli, and again, you got to give him a little bit of credit for the first few years too, because he was not owning that huddle. He didn't run that huddle. Tiki Barber is an all-time Giant great. He was in that huddle. Jeremy Shockey is a very intimidating guy. He's in that huddle. Amani Toomer, another all-time Giant great. He's in that huddle. There's a lot of guys that have more of a voice than Eli, and here comes quiet Eli Manning into that huddle, and no one really of that stature is going to listen to a rookie quarterback or a first-year, second-year quarterback. Again, Jim Fossil didn't really help things. Tom Coughlin would come along. He would help things a little bit eventually. But immediately, Eli Manning did not have the cachet he had now. He had to take a lot of bumps along the way. He was sacked so many times throughout his career. It's actually amazing. Again, they eventually got Saul, David Deal, Chris Snee,
Kareem
McKenzie, Sean O'Hara. Schubert.
Scheibert, yep.
Scheibert.
That was the offensive line.
Kevin Boss would help out too. Kevin Boss is a phenomenal blocking tight end. And the Giants put a team around Eli. Now, here's the thing. The numbers are the numbers. You can't argue the numbers. For a very long time, I said, there's no way, there's no shot Eli Manning's in the Hall of Fame. Not a chance. No chance whatsoever. Too many interceptions. The numbers, yeah, he's 70 yards and 7 touchdowns. So that holds a lot of weight. He's only got the 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I don't know. I don't know. Now, Eli Manning has to be in the Hall of Fame. He has to be. He's the face of a franchise. He's the face of the New York Giants. A lot of people are going to say Taylor. A lot of people are going to say Strahan. A lot of people are going to say maybe Toomer, or maybe, if you really want to get into it, how many of you remember Jason Sehorn? But the question has to be answered, right? Are you going to vote for Eli, or are you not going to vote for Eli? Eli Manning's a first ballot Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen. There's no debating that. I don't know if he's going to get on the first shot, but Eli Manning should get in on the first shot. Hopefully this caller will disagree or agree with me, but we're about to find out, as again Zion's debut is about to start. Welcome to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on the home stretch. How may I help you?
Who cares about Zion? Who cares?
Ah, Jeff is back.
Who cares? Dude, let me set you straight on something.
How was Rhode Island?
Eli Manning, it was awful. It was so incredibly cold.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Incredibly cold. Dude, do you guys not believe Eli Manning is the most overrated quarterback to ever play football?
In what sense?
He's not a top 10 all-time guy. That's fine.
Right, but we didn't say that.
Not even a top dude. Literally, do you know what his career record is?
117, 117, 500.
He's a career 500 quarterback. It's outrageous the pedestal people are putting him on because he won 2 Super Bowls. He's Trent Dilfer with an extra Super Bowl.
That's not true.
That's harsh.
That's not. We agree on a lot of football things, but I have to tell, that's kind of out there what you just said. The guy's top 7 in yards and top 7 in touchdowns. Not everyone's saying
Trent Dilfer was never a top half of the quarterback league.
And he's not really a winner, though, is he? 117 and 117.
Hold on, though. Hold on. I agree with you. Just hold on 1 second, okay? Let's just take a look at 2017, 2018, when Ben McAdoo and Pat Shurmur. Ben McAdoo's last year and Pat Shurmur's first year. Both of those two are, what? F head coaches? Z, if you want to go by McAdoo?
So you want to sit there and tell me that a 13 and 14-year vet in the league can't at least account for a better record, but you're blaming it on the coach? Dude, he's supposed to be the star player and star quarterback of
No, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. He was never the star. Never the star. And again, you're a little bit jaded because you're used to Tom Brady. You can't really judge any quarterback because you have the GOAT. You have the greatest quarterback of all time. So yes, everyone to you is going to look inferior. I get it. But Eli Manning is
I'm not even going off that. He's a career 500 quarterback.
But not by his fault. I can't blame Eli Manning for all that.
Right.
He got sacked 47 times last year. 47 times at 37 years old.
You're literally taking one. So what do you want to do? Take his 2 worst years and his 2 best years and throw them out and find the average of the rest? Because you only want to look at the good?
No, that's not what I'm doing at all. But if your offensive line is the worst in football for 4 years, your numbers are going to inflate. That's just how it goes. You can't blame Eli Manning for the mess the New York Giants have become. If anything, Eli Manning's the reason that the mess was kind of not brought to the light sooner.
I mean, not for nothing, there are other quarterbacks in the league, and not just the guy that I like, but there are other quarterbacks in the league that have said, you want to know what? I don't need top dollar. I will take a little less. Pay some of these other guys to keep me upright. He was never a guy that did that.
Yes.
But most quarterbacks aren't like that, though.
Well, Brady and Breeze have done it in recent years.
Selfish quarterbacks aren't like that.
Well, that's a good point. So look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers cost himself a Super Bowl run this year because he didn't want to restructure his deal.
Exactly.
So
it's outrageous.
We'll get to that game later. But to answer your question, yes, Eli bit himself in the ass by not taking a pay cut or restructuring his deal or anything like that, like Tom Brady did this year for the Patriots or what Drew Brees has done over the years for the Saints. I understand. But, again, you can't blame him for wanting to take a pay cut when
the team's as bad as it is.
Yeah, listen, but to be quite honest with you, now look at the position the Giants are in now, okay, because Eli didn't do that. You have the best weapon in football in Saquon Barkley. Your offensive line is no longer a garbage can. It's
still below average, though.
No, but it's getting formidable. It's absolutely getting better. Zeitler, you got Zeitler. You traded Odell, but whatever, that had nothing to do with Eli. I cannot imagine. And let's just be honest about another thing. Eli Manning tried to mentor Odell. He tried to get Odell to stop doing the things the Giants didn't like. Eli Manning led the team. And we just talked about this yesterday with Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was going to get in first ballot just because of how he conducted himself. Eli Manning led an organization and became the face of the franchise. Go around the league right now and tell me a guy that was the face of a franchise for 10 years and is not in the Hall of Fame. You will not find one in any sport. They're all in, and they're all going to be in. And Eli Manning's that case. Phil Simms is in, and Eli Manning's going to be in too.
Yeah, he'll probably be in. Yeah, he'll probably be in. It doesn't mean that he's not overrated. Like, if he didn't play in New York, people would look at him as just an average quarterback.
No, because
people would look at him as an average quarterback if he didn't play in New York.
No, because he still has top 10 yards all time, and he still has two Super Bowl MVPs. That would happen on any team, no matter what.
Yeah, but the yards thing is kind of a joke, right? Because you're at the very beginning of this new era of football that's just about passing, right? So just because he has yards doesn't make him great.
Well, he's what is he in touchdowns?
Dude, how many more people coming up are going to blow away Eli Manning? Dude, Kyler Murray, who might not ever be any good, might break Manning's records because all the Cardinals are going to do is throw the football.
Okay, but
yards is becoming an overblown stat.
I agree to an extent where I look at net yardage more, how much you actually throw the ball when judging a quarterback. But Eli Manning wasn't really I'm going to throw a bunch of screen passes until, again, bad coaching got there. He was always throwing it downfield. Now, again, that led to a lot of interceptions, but he was always throwing it downfield. He could throw it sophisticated if he had to. He was a skilled quarterback and was a primary something for most of his yards, where what you're saying is with younger quarterbacks being more mobile-type quarterbacks, RPO-type quarterbacks, there's a lot of yards after the catch.
No, I'm just saying they're going to start throwing the ball a lot more. It doesn't matter, right? And something else to not be overlooked in this whole thing, when you're 117 and 117, that means a lot of the games you were trailing probably by a decent amount, and had to throw the football. That's why. How do you think Phillip Rivers gets all of his yards?
No,
garbage time.
No, I agree with you on Rivers. With Eli Manning, the Giants were never a team that were that bad defensively until really that 2015 season. They were never that bad defensively where they were trailing badly. I'm sure there were some, but it wasn't the majority of the losses. A lot of the losses were close, and a lot of them were because they were lower scoring or because of the offensive line or whatever, because Tyler was right. From probably 2013 to 2017, that line was the worst in football. And the 2015 season in particular, they had 5 games where they lost in the final 2 minutes, and that was on the defense. That was on the fact that they had no pass rush, because that was the year JPP blew up his hand, and they didn't have much else. Everyone else, a lot of other players were hurt, so their defense blew a lot at the end of that season. So Eli Manning, yeah, maybe there were some games he had that, but it wasn't the majority of his career, where it seems like that's always the case.
Well, if you're going to blame the defense for a lot, of the reason why he didn't win, why don't you say most of his wins are because of the defense? Going back and look at the Giants team that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That defense was unreal.
Of course, nobody said it wasn't.
Well, hold on though. When you think of those 2 Super Bowls, what 2 plays do you think of?
Probably the helmet catch, which
Eli Manning made that play.
No, he did not make that play.
Eli Manning didn't escape a sack of half the defensive line to make that throw. Come on, stop.
No, Ninkovich basically let him go, and then not for nothing, that's a lucky catch anyways.
I'm not talking about the catch. The throw was spot on. That throw had to be there.
He still escaped the other end, Jarvis Green. He still escaped him, too.
He's great because he made 2 throws and then the throw to Mario Manningham on the side. That's your whole argument?
No, but Mario Manningham, that throw, again, is a perfect throw. You couldn't have scripted that throw to go better.
Dude, no one's saying the dude couldn't throw the football. He was a good quarterback. My only argument is this. He's overrated for what people make him out to be.
Sure, he's not a top 10 all-timer. I get that. I'm not saying that.
We're not even saying that. There's a lot of people who don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame at all. And I don't know how people could think he's, quote-unquote, overrated when you have so many people saying that, too. I don't think that's the public consensus. I don't think the public consensus is, all right, enshrine Eli with his brother. No, he wasn't even close to his brother, but
I think the people saying he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame are probably bitter Bostonians, which I am not one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he played great in those Super Bowls, fine. Like, I get it. But mostly overrated, dude. He's a 500 quarterback.
I understand what you mean. Is he overrated? Probably.
Name another Hall of Famer that was 500.
Dan Fouts is probably close.
I bet you Dan Fouts is probably over that.
I'm saying he's probably close.
And for his time, probably the best passer of the football.
Oh, he was close. He was.
Yeah, he's real close.
Over 500, 86, 84, and 1, but he was awfully close.
86, 84, and 1. Over 500. But for his time, probably the best.
But if Eli Manning didn't stick around for Ben McAdoo and Pat Shurmur, he would be above 500 too. And at a better clip than what I just mentioned to you about Fouts. And he still would have been 7 in yards and touchdowns.
Well, then he should have just retired then instead of...
Sure, but again, he still would have been in the Hall of Fame. I had this argument, 6 months ago with Luck? Everyone goes by, there's the 3 credentials is what I was told. Stats, Manning has them. Moments, he has them. Hardware, he has it. There's no... Is he overrated? Yes, he is overrated, especially around here. There are people saying he's, is he the greatest quarterback of all time? No. But is he the greatest Giant of all time? After Lawrence Taylor? He's definitely up there.
No. I wouldn't have him probably in the top 5 Giants. There's just the Giants have had a long history with a lot of good football players.
No, sure. But I have to hold true to my word here. I think for what he did, he's the face of the Giants.
By the way, Hall of Fame quarterback Sonny Jurgensen finished below 500. 69, 71, and 7 in his career.
Oh, so one guy was below 500.
Well, that's what I found so far. I'm still going through the list.
So you found one guy that was 500 or below. That's amazing. He's a beneficiary of the era. That's all he is.
And
listen, he has some good wins. I'm not taking his wins away from him. He had some good years. He's also had a lot of questionable years.
Absolutely, but again, if we're not going to let guys in like Luck and Kuechly because they don't have long-term success, which I think is a hoax, then you have to kind of give him also a little bit of credit for being in the league for 15 years.
No, I've long said that health is a skill. You have to condition yourself and take care of your body in the off season.
He did a great job
work
at.
that those people, that's work. That's work that people need to put in. That's part of the job, right? And a lot of people don't do it. So credit to Eli Manning for doing it, for sure. I just feel like if he didn't play in New York, because let's face it, New Yorkers are just louder about everything. If he didn't play in New York and he played in, let's just say,
Houston,
Seattle, would you think of him? Would people discuss him the same way? You go, oh, he's so great. He's so Hall of Fame for
he'd
sure.
probably be like Dave Craig.
Now, Seattle was a well-run team, though, so what do you think? They're going to put him in a worse situation? Seattle has been one of the best well-run teams in this century.
But again, I can make an argument Dave Craig should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, I wouldn't be making that argument, but go for it. Wouldn't be me, but whatever. I'm just saying, I think he's probably a Hall of Famer, but the way people talk about him is just like they gush over him, and he's going to announce his retirement on Friday, and it's this big, oh my God, we're losing a legend. I wouldn't say legend.
I think because of the time he was here, you can make the argument because.
Let me ask you what I think is a fair question.
Sure.
Because I think it's fair, and I think it's a question that no one's asking, and I don't believe it's a slight to him. Would you look at him the same way if his last name wasn't Manning?
Yes. Absolutely. Do you think people would give him this? People were not nearly as kind to Eli, or people weren't nearly as kind to John Elway when he tried to force his way out of Baltimore in that whole situation. Right. John Elway was hated for that. Yes.
Right, but when Eli Manning did it, it was, oh my God, Eli, he just wants to win. Oh, unbelievable, this guy. His fight to win is just amazing. Why didn't people slam him like they slammed John Elway? Probably because his last name was Manning.
That's fine, and I'll even give you this. He probably fell short of his expectations coming out of the draft. Is that fair to say? He was supposed to be, an all-timer. Look, if you're, people go, oh, is he a top 10 this, a top 10 that? He's probably the third best quarterback in his family. That's fine, but I'll tell you this much. Looking back in that 2004 draft, because all three of them have similar numbers, in hindsight, I would take Eli over the other two. To this day, I still would. And everything I know, I would take Eli over Big Ben and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is situational, though, right? Because I think everyone's had similar numbers and everyone's kind of had similar success, except for the Super Bowl wins for Phillip Rivers. But here would be my question to you: Phillip Rivers never played with, Tuck and Strahan and those guys.
No, but he played with LaDainian Tomlinson. And Vincent Jackson and Antonio Gates.
He never had a lot of guys around him. Let's be honest. His team
that Charger team last year and this year were loaded with talent.
And the Chargers team was when he started were loaded with talent.
Terrible this year.
Well, yeah, but Derwin James is the only guy they missed.
They still had the targets. That wasn't the issue. The problem is they didn't have the offensive line. They still had the targets.
Right, but
the only time he really didn't have targets is after Vincent Jackson left for Tampa and LaDainian Tomlinson left for the Jets. And Michael Turner wasn't there anymore because he went to Atlanta. That's the only time he really didn't have any targets, when he was working with Malcolm Floyd. Can you say Ben Roethlisberger would have still won 2 Super Bowls if he had been out in San Diego and Phillip Rivers had been in Pittsburgh? Maybe not, because the Chargers are the least clutch team in football.
I think Phillip Rivers, as awkward as it looks, and it looks terrible, I think Phillip Rivers is a more accurate, better passer than Roethlisberger is. I think a lot of it
I would agree with that.
The situation they were in.
Maybe, but again, I don't think the discrepancy with the skill players and even some of the offensive lines that the Chargers had when Phillip Rivers first came into the league were still very good.
You guys know I like Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady turns into Tom Brady if he doesn't have some of the guys he had and Bill Belichick. I think Tom Brady, listen, guys have to have the will to win and have to have, a skill set, and they need to be good players. But I think a lot of what builds a lot of people up is the situation they're in. Is Joe Montana considered one of the best quarterbacks in the world if he doesn't win in San Francisco and is throwing to Jerry Rice the whole time?
No, probably not. But let me just quickly rebuttal what you just said, right? So you said if Phillip Rivers never had that, we're going to go to 2006, okay? You have the best player in football at that time, LaDainian Tomlinson, who had the best running back season we've ever seen.
And he was a good pass catching back too.
Yeah, he actually was second in. He was second in receptions for the team.
Right.
Antonio Gates, who is a first ballot Hall of Famer, probably the third greatest tight end of all time, behind Gronk and Gonzalez. Okay. Then you got Keenan McCardell, who at that time was coming up.
He was good.
He was very good. Then you got Vincent Jackson, who got hurt, so that's fine. But now let's look at the defensive side. Okay. Shawn Merriman, you could have argued, was a top 5 defensive player during this time period. Led the league and had 17 sacks.
Phillips was on the other
Sean
side.
Phillips had 11 and a half sacks. Antonio Gates was one of the top corners in football. Antonio Cromartie, sorry.
Yeah.
If that team had Eli Manning, they probably go to the Super Bowl.
Did that team have Eric Weddle too?
Yeah, they did have Eric Weddle.
Eric Weddle, okay.
I mean,
Quentin Jammer.
A lot of the big parts. You're missing a lot of the big parts of it, though, as well, though, right? Because
I'm sorry, there is no Eric Weddle on this team. I meant.
Listen, I included Belichick when I said Brady, and that's half of what makes Tom Brady. Dude,
Marty Schottenheimer is a genius.
Dude, Marty Schottenheimer is one of the worst coaches of all time. Never could win the big game, ever.
Well, Eli Manning probably could have helped with that, don't you think?
He helped. Yeah, but
Tom Coughlin. Hold on. Before you do that, Tom Coughlin had the same rep as Schottenheimer did before he went to the Giants. Tiki Barber said, you don't know how to win, so why would I listen to you? And the man won 2 Super Bowls and is now deemed a legend here. So I don't want to hear that argument.
I mean, but he won Super Bowls with unbelievable defenses, though. I mean, I don't think that if you put Roethlisberger, I would take Eli over Roethlisberger. I don't think if you put Roethlisberger on the Giants that they win Super Bowls.
How can you say he's a horrible head coach? His coaching resume isn't bad.
No, he's saying he's a bad playoff coach, which is absolutely true.
No.
He probably started the whole least clutch team in football thing for the Chargers. He probably started.
I thought he meant as a whole.
And it boiled down to other coaches.
Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, that defense was very good.
Very, very good.
Very good.
Marty Schottenheimer has to be one of the most overrated coaches of all time.
Yeah,
probably. But
again, they kicked out Drew Brees for Phillip Rivers, so I could understand why he'd be a little upset.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the front office. Oh gosh. There's a reason Eli Manning didn't like the Spanos family.
Well, it turned out to be true.
The fans don't like him.
Damn, they treat Drew Brees like that. I hate Drew Brees. I ain't going there.
Drew Brees didn't like him. They don't re-sign their other players, and the fans don't like him.
I'll be honest with you, though, not for nothing. I don't know what Eli Manning was talking about. If you had, all things being equal, and I know you guys are New Yorkers and from the area and all that kind of stuff, all things being equal, the money, the whole, the guys that you
San Diego's a better place to go play, absolutely.
Nobody's denying that, but why did so many players leave? There's obviously corruptness in that front office.
Because, a lot of, But,
they kicked out Junior Seau. What does that say?
They did not. First of all, stop it. They didn't really kick out Junior Seau. Junior Seau was getting old, and they had to make a tough decision. Be honest about that.
I don't know any other team that let the face of their team at the time not come back. Junior Seau could have easily went back on a vet's minimum deal and been like, yeah, I'll retire here. They didn't want him back.
Yeah, but
Reggie White.
Not that they didn't want him back.
Michael Strahan.
Not that they didn't want him back. Hold on, Tyler. I think you're looking at that all wrong because I don't think it's that they didn't want him back. The Patriots offered him just as much money, and the Patriots at the time were contenders.
I mean,
where would you want to go?
Yeah, all right. I mean, that's fine if you want to look at it that way. But again, I'm sure Junior Seau was considering staying in San Diego. I don't think it was 100%. I'm out. I'm going to New England.
I don't know, man. I'm just thinking Eli's just I'm not saying he's not good, but the way people are pumping him up since he's announced his retirement, you would think that the Pope was retiring.
Well, hopefully the Pope does retire.
No, they keep their jobs till they're dead.
Well,
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, everyone, now that he's retired, everyone's making it seem like this crazy thing. Oh, why would he ever retire?
right. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. But I do know. I don't know if you caught the first part of the show. I wasn't always an Eli guy. I actually refused to root for the Giants until Eli retired. But after watching him, how he led the team and his quiet leadership and finding an appreciation for him down the line, I kind of am upset with myself that I didn't actually sit back and enjoy the career of Eli Manning. I wish I would have been a little bit more open-minded to it.
That totally sounds like you. You definitely are a dude that doesn't give people a fair shake, so I understand how that happened.
That I think I've been more than fair. I mean, for God's sakes, I let Mike Guido talk for a year and a half.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next point. What time do the Cowboys play next week?
7:30? 8:30?
Who they play?
What are the tee times in Dallas?
I don't know if you know, but I was told this was the first of Dak Prescott's 3 championships in a row.
Oh, I thought that was next year.
No.
It was supposed to be this year.
He's going to win 3 in a row. I thought that was starting this year.
You know what's ironic? Dak's kind of like Eli. Average quarterback, limited skill set, quiet leader.
Do not.
Eli Manning's skill set wasn't limited, though.
Eli Manning is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. The only Hall of Fame that freaking Dak Prescott is going to is for like a chicken wing eating contest or something, or something dumb. He is not a Hall of Famer. How dare you put that on him? That's terrible.
No, I don't mean like a Hall of Famer. I meant the perception of Dak.
Cowboys fans, they're unbelievable, though, huh? Terrible. Can you imagine if Eli Manning had played for the Cowboys? You really would be hearing that he was the best quarterback of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with their history, they might have a point.
I don't know, man. I thought Troy Aikman was pretty great.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Roger Dodger is the greatest Cowboy quarterback of all time.
Yeah, it's possible for sure. That would be a good debate, right? Aikman versus Staubach.
I think Roger Staubach had less around him, if you want to start with that. Drew Pearson was a good receiver, but he wasn't what Mike.
How is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Is he not?
No, Drew Pearson's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he was bitching and complaining that he's not in. How am I not in? I got robbed, blah, blah, blah.
You kind of did. You're talking about a league that took Terrell Owens 3 years.
He probably did, but, then what's the reason he's not in? He doesn't strike me as a guy that was, pissing off the media and stuff like that. Why is he not in?
I think the stats for the time are kind of lost. You got to remember, this is not an era of where 1,000-yard receivers were common. So his 489 catches, 7,000 yards by today's standards is probably 800 receptions and 12,000 yards.
2,000-yard seasons and
led the league in receiving.
78-22 receiving yards. Yes, he led the league in receiving in 1977.
No, he's definitely got an argument, man, because he's the only one. He's the only one from the 1970s all-decade team to not be in. So, he certainly has a complaint to be had. But, there has to be a reason why people keep leaving him off, though, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just like Terrell Owens. They're just being petty.
Yeah, but that reason is painfully obvious.
Is it? It's obvious, yes, but I still don't see how a Hall of Fame is going to make the greatest wide receiver I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes not get in on the first shot. That's just kind of ridiculous.
I hear what you're saying, but there's an argument to be made. Maybe he's not a Hall of Fame guy. He certainly was a locker room destroyer.
Yeah. It's getting hard to dispute that, but also, there were other team obliterators on his team too.
I hear what you're saying, but it's hard to. It's hard not to take everything into account. I just had this conversation about, and I realize I'm crossing sports here, but Kurt Schilling, right? It's hard not to look at things and take other things into account, right? Like, okay, Kurt Schilling was a great player, and he probably deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But he's made so many anti-Semitic comments since. How do you reward a guy for something like that?
He probably would have got in this year if he'd kept his mouth shut. But, I think he learned his lesson. I think he's being quiet now. And
But, all I'm saying, though, Tyler, is, like, how do you reward a guy for racism?
Yeah. No, that's you can't do that. And by all means.
And I get it, Ty Cobb is in, and he was a notable racist and blah, blah, blah. But I think I'm just getting to the point with kind of everything, and I mean everything, like steroids, like the whole thing, where I think that, we should start letting all of these guys in, Clemens, Bonds.
Oh, Barry Bonds should have been.
Let them all. Right, but I'm all about letting them all in. But I also think that their plaques should have, amendments to them and mention some of the things that they've done. Make people wear their bad behavior.
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
a good
a notable
idea.
racist, why should it be on your plaque that you're a racist?
Well, that looks bad for the Hall of Fame. Like, oh, you let this guy in anyway?
But notable racist.
Right, but they're letting him in. What's the difference? If you're letting him in the Hall of Fame as it is, it's the same kind of issue.
Wait, who are you
all
talking
I'm saying is
You.
let them all in.
You're saying
just put
what?
amendments on their plaques.
What's the difference if they put it on the plaque and just induct him and don't put it on the plaque? It's the same kind of thing.
Well, no, because if you induct him, if you induct him and put on the plaque, oh, this guy was a racist, you're kind of not intentionally, or I think by design doing it, but there will be dots connected. Like, you're kind of promoting racism with this. Like, oh, you can be racist. It's okay. You're in the Hall of Fame, so all right.
But you're letting him in for the same merits, same kind of thing. So
Right, because I don't think that you can ignore what he's done on the field. I don't. I think he is a great player. He really is. But, maybe it would drive people to be better human beings if people knew that when they were done playing, all that anyone's going to remember for the rest of time is that you were a piece of shit.
That's a good point. Now, let me just bring this full circle, right? So, who is not in the Hall of Fame that clearly should be in the Hall of Fame?
Bonds, for sure.
Well, no, the number one answer that any baseball fan will give.
Oh, Pete Rose.
Okay. And what is the number one rule in baseball? You cannot gamble.
Don't bet on baseball.
And has anyone done it since? No. Pete Rose still in the Hall of Fame? Nope.
Well, actually, yes. Didn't a guy just get suspended this year for betting on baseball?
yeah, no, that was a football player, Josh Shaw, who was a corner who used to play for the Bengals, now on the Cardinals. He got suspended for a whole season for betting on football.
No, you're right. Sorry, I screwed that up. That is my fault. I apologize. But yeah, I remember some story about someone betting on something.
But yeah, it's I see your point. To me, if they're gonna get in, you get in. It's not. This should no longer be about what you are off the field. This has to be about on the white lines, between the sidelines, what you did. We're getting too political with this shit. We just need. All right.
All right. Hold on, Tyler. I don't think racism is political.
I don't. Here. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but Kurt Schilling.
I'm not talking about kind of how things are going. Oh, we don't like this guy because he voted for Trump. Is basically what you're kind of saying. I get that, but when you're making anti-Semitic comments like that,
Well, right, but then, hold on, because this goes to why Derek Jeter, I think, should have got 100% of the vote. Not because of, his numbers or anything like that, just for the simple fact of this vote is for what you did for baseball. So Curt Schilling going out there making these comments is not good for the game of baseball at all. To be quite honest with you, what Curt Schilling did and what the Houston Astros did and all these other, cheating, did steroids hurt baseball? No, they did not. Steroids are actually the reason why baseball was at its peak. So to me, A-Rod and Curt Schilling shouldn't be in the same sentence. Alex Rodriguez cheated, yes, but did he hurt baseball? No. He enhanced baseball. Baseball was best when Bonds, Sosa, McGuire, they were all hitting home runs every day, and so who's going to get 60 first? McGuire, Sosa. Steroids to me didn't hurt baseball whatsoever. Schilling hurt baseball. The Black Sox hurt baseball. These Astros have hurt baseball. We're not talking. Have your personal opinion. By all means, we're America. You're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. You cannot have a job as a TV analyst and be blatant about non-job incentivizations. It's just not. That's not how it works. That's not what you're paid to do. I'm here to do a simple job from 8 to 10. If I go off rail, you bet your ass at 10:05, Errol Marks is calling me going, what the hell was that?
Yeah, but he's an idiot, though. Anyone that listens to him is,
well,
I was the rails themselves.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but you see my point? If I came up here and was very open and honest about what I feel off sport topics, I'm not going to get viewed the same way I'm viewed now. I'm not going to be talked to how I'm talked to now. I'm here to talk about sports agendas, so I talk about sports agendas. I take a little bit of a left turn to help to get guys like Antonio Brown help, to get guys like Roy Halladay their moment because of a tragedy that should have never occurred. And that's a damn shame that happened to Roy Halladay. It's not – that's one thing. But if I came up here in 8 to 10 and said, well, I hope the 49ers win the Super Bowl so that way Donald Trump is elected for 4 years, that's going to piss off more people than it's going to help. Because you're not here to talk about that. You're here to talk about why San Francisco dominated the Packers and Matt LaFleur might get fired because they quit on him. Or, oh, hey, they absolutely quit on him. Oh, yes, they did. The San outmatched. They ran the ball 40 times for almost 300 yards. That's given up. That's completely quitting. Garoppolo threw it 7 times.
Yeah, the defense might have.
So what? Your defense quit on you. That's a problem.
Defensive coordinator.
That's a problem. They quit on you. You're the head coach.
Or they got tired.
No, they quit. They quit. You don't think Aaron Rodgers?
Hold on.
Aaron Rodgers. Hold on.
First half.
Aaron Rodgers was very open about, I don't like Mike McCarthy. There are reports coming out Aaron Rodgers quit on Mike McCarthy. You don't think Aaron Rodgers would quit on Matt LaFleur? You're smoking drugs.
They were worse in the first half. Usually when a team
quits. The game was a blowout.
Right. Usually
the game wasn't close.
Usually when a team quits, it's in the second half.
Right.
They were worse in the first half.
They weren't good in the second half.
Because they were outmatched.
No, Speedy. They got a garbage time touchdown. And
they got a touchdown to open the second half. They got a touchdown to open the fourth quarter.
Speedy, it was garbage time.
The real turning point of that game, though, was really Rodgers' interception that led to 7 points at the very end of the first half when they were trying to get on the scoreboard and get something positive for going into halftime.
No, it wasn't an interception. No, it wasn't an interception. It was the botched snap. That was then?
No, it was an interception that he threw.
No, I thought the interception he threw was in his own territory.
Yeah, it was at the end of the first half.
Oh, I thought you meant it was in the red zone. Okay. I thought the big turning point was the botched snap, though. Because the Packers were still only down 2 possessions.
No, it would have been whatever, 20-0 or whatever it would have been. But you would have had a shot at something, right? Like Aaron Rodgers' interception changed the whole complexion of that game.
Maybe, but I think it was more the botched snap.
That's fine, but Matt LaFleur basically said the team quit and it's troublesome, and I'm gonna figure this out. The Green Bay Packers team will go through a massive overhaul this offseason. Yes, absolutely.
But will they? We say that every year that they're going to do this, they're going to do that.
I don't mean bring in talent, but they're going to get rid of all the trouble. There's clearly a disconnect in that locker room after Sunday's performance. There's a problem in Green Bay. And I'm telling you this right now. I've said it for a couple of years. Aaron Rodgers needs to start taking some blame. The man is a problem. Just like Big Ben in Pittsburgh, although Big Ben apparently now is playing nice in the sandbox, but Aaron Rodgers needs to start kind of being a leader. He's not a leader. That's why half his family doesn't talk to the man. Aaron Rodgers needs a problem. And he needs to fess up and be like, you know what? I need to be a better teammate and a better leader.
He's not the only guy that struggled. Everyone struggled.
It's not about on the field. The team quit. Where do you think that starts with? The quarterback.
Why would the defense quitting be on the quarterback?
Because Aaron Rodgers was walking around looking miserable the whole game. After the first quarter, Aaron Rodgers had a look on his face of, I don't want to be here. I look bothered.
Well,
do I have to go back on the field?
But that also can be personal, too, just because he wants to stick it to the 49ers.
Speedy,
for not drafting him.
You're really overlooking the whole thing. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is pretty clear cut that he just looked disengaged on Sunday for whatever reason. That starts. You are the star player. When you think of the Packers, you think of Aaron Rodgers right now. Aaron Rodgers has to lead that team in there. After the first quarter, the Green Bay Packers look completely disinterested in playing football.
Hold on. Let me say this. You defend Odell for the boat trip, saying, all right, he's not the only one. Why is everyone blaming him? You can't do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden.
But you're comparing pineapples and bananas.
Blowout loss. Same thing.
Yeah. You're comparing something that happened on Tuesday that had no effect on the game on Sunday. You've said that on this show. You're talking about something that happened during the game. During game action.
Right, but Odell struggled during the game. But everyone scrutinized him, and you and I both agree it wasn't just him.
It wasn't just him.
It was the defense, it was the offensive line.
Speedy,
why does Aaron Rodgers not get the same leeway?
Because Aaron Rodgers on Sunday looked disinterested in playing on Sunday.
And the Giants didn't look disinterested when they were down 38-13?
No, Odell looked completely consumed by the moment. He looked completely overwhelmed.
And the Packers' young players weren't?
The defense looked absolutely outmatched by everything.
Which is what I said earlier.
Kyle Shanahan did.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, after that interception that Jeff just alluded to, kind of gave off this attitude of, all right, well, we lost. All right, so we'll just go through the motions now. That's what it felt like. And I didn't think anything of it until Matt LaFleur himself yesterday or earlier this morning came out and said it. I'm not saying that the team quit on him. Matt LaFleur said the team quit on him. That's a problem.
But when? That makes a difference.
Probably in the second half, Speedy.
Okay,
if he didn't like the effort early, he's not going to like the effort at all.
Right, but I'm saying the first half effort was worse than the second half effort.
No, the first half effort wasn't anything to do with the fact that San Francisco's game plan poured it on him.
I
agree.
The
second half.
No, I agree. I'm saying
right.
The coaching did a great job for the Niners. I think, especially defensively, did a great job. My point is, I think the fact that the performance was worse in the first half says more about, yeah, you were outmatched rather than, no, we weren't giving effort.
You keep saying that.
We were nervous.
Hold on.
We weren't ready.
Stop.
We were just not playing.
You realize that at the end of the first half, Green Bay led in time of possession?
Yes, because the Niners got big plays. Cool.
So if you have the ball more and you're having longer drives, whether it be chronologically or whether it be distant-wise, however you want to take longer drives.
I'm sure
right?
It takes effort to take those longer drives, doesn't it?
Right. So how can you say that after San Francisco buried them, that score means absolutely nothing to me. That game was a blowout. At no point in time did it look like Green Bay was going to win that football game. After the first drive by the Niners, it looked completely like it was just a lopside. Aaron Rodgers looked and even the throw to Richard Sherman, the game-ending interception, it was thrown to nobody. It was thrown to nobody.
That was a desperate heave. What are you going to do?
Speedy, there was no one around. Okay. Richard Sherman was about 3 yards away from the receiver.
Right, he overthrew the receiver by 5-6 yards. Okay.
What do you think that meant?
Most quarterbacks
I'm out of here. Get me out of here. I'm done.
Most quarterbacks don't hit those kinds of throws that late in the game.
Speedy, I don't know why you're not just saying, yeah, Aaron Rodgers quit. But I think most of the population will admit to you Aaron Rodgers quit on Sunday.
I think,
Jeff, do you understand what's going on?
The majority of quarterbacks down 34-14 would quit.
No, they would lead a drive to score so they don't take an ass lynching in the morning. Aaron Rodgers didn't care. He said, I wanted the ball out of my hands so I can go to the locker room. Here's a heave. Richard Sherman caught it, and he went right to the locker room. You cannot tell me that that's not quitting. That's LeBron James in Boston. I'm taking my jersey off. I'm out of here. I'm going to Miami. Goodbye. Come on. We criticize LeBron James on this show for doing the same thing, and Aaron Rodgers does it. He's a crybaby. He doesn't lead a team. He's not Wilson. He's not Mahomes. He's not Brady. He's not Breeze. He's a crybaby. And now that he didn't get his way again, watch. Matt LaFleur might get fired. Because Aaron Rodgers, to me, looked disinterested all year playing football. His numbers aren't great. Everyone bashes Brady on this network. He's lost it. He's fell down. Aaron Rodgers' numbers are worse. Yeah, the interceptions are lower. Oh, that's because Aaron Rodgers will rather take a sack than throw the interception. It's not because Aaron Rodgers is miraculous as the ball throws. No. Aaron Rodgers just would rather take the sack.
But what's the big deal about trying to force a throw down 20 points?
He didn't. No. You're not. No. Your argument is if Aaron Rodgers forced the throw to, if that was Brett Favre, I would understand. I'm Brett Favre. I'm going to make this throw. That's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is, I want off the field right now. Here you go, San Francisco. Here's the ball.
Talented enough where he could trust his arm to do something.
He threw the ball as far as he could, hoping to God San Francisco would catch it. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, because that's never worked for him before. Tell that to Arizona, who almost blew a playoff game because of his two Hail Marys.
You're not listening. You have 2 ears, one mouth. Aaron Rodgers threw that football hoping San Francisco would catch it. He didn't want to be on the field. He knew the game was over, and he could care less.
Okay, but he's done that before, and it's worked. The Cardinals.
You were not winning that football game.
They weren't winning against Arizona either. When they were down, 13-6 against Arizona in their playoff
that's
game?
That's a one-score game.
It was 4th and 25. So what do you have to do at that point? Just heave it and hope for the best. And what happened? It worked because of his arm talent, because of his accuracy.
They lost by 17. What point in football would have made that matter? There's not a play in the world that would have mattered.
Right, but I'm saying
it would have been 27-37 San Francisco.
Okay, so
Aaron Rodgers threw the interception to get off the field. He didn't want to be on the field. He wanted to sit on the bench and go home.
You're saying he purposely threw it to Richard Sherman.
He purposely threw it hoping San Francisco would catch it, yes.
No, come on.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Speedy, he threw 2 interceptions.
If that was the case,
both of them looked awful.
If that was the case, he would have just botched the snap.
He did.
He didn't.
There was a fumble. The center literally didn't even get the ball to Rodgers.
Yes.
You don't find that a little bit? That's a boneheaded play.
Fault. Rodgers was in shotgun.
You don't think that's a boneheaded play?
By the offensive lineman, yes. Rodgers was in shotgun. If Rodgers was under center, okay, but he was in shotgun.
I'm telling you.
No, he wasn't in shotgun. He was under center for that fumble.
Thank you.
Yes, he was under center for that football. And I would just say this, and this is what annoys me about Aaron Rodgers people, like all the Aaron Rodgers people, right?
Right.
They give him a pass. What did Aaron Rodgers do? He fumbles the football out of the, from under center. He fumbles the football, and what does he do? He just looks away and is like, someone else will get it. Did we not kill Cam Newton for doing the same
I didn't kill Cam Newton for that.
I did.
I did not kill
Cam Newton. A lot of people. Stop, Speedy. Cam Newton took a beating for that.
Okay, not
he
by me.
quit. He's in.
Not by me.
That's all right, and that's fine. But Cam Newton, if that was any other quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers, even if that was Tom Brady, I'm sure people would have beat on him for it. People don't even bring that play up.
No, I've said this for a while. I think what Cam Newton was trying to do is he was trying to anticipate a bounce and run with it, which is the same thing Russell Wilson did in a playoff game against the Vikings that year, and he made it work. So I think that's what he was trying to do. I don't think he was just being lazy and not going for the ball or trying to protect himself.
No, but Aaron Rodgers clearly gave up on the plays.
It was a mental lapse in judgment, okay, but I think that's what he was trying to do because he doesn't know what he is, a runner.
And he didn't even try to fall on it, and you're making an excuse for it. When Aaron Rodgers fumbled that ball, people that want to win go after the football. Did Aaron Rodgers go after the football?
Nope.
No, he stood back and looked at it.
But if he dove, he would have went into the offensive lineman. He had no chance of going for that.
He doesn't get it, Jeff. He's not going to get it.
Also would have showed maybe he cares about winning. Maybe he's trying to make a hustle play, light a fire under his team, give some effort. Where's the effort?
Right.
They were still outmatched anyway, and they weren't not showing effort.
All I'll tell you is this: if it wasn't for Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers would have looked awful.
It's about effort, though. Like if your quarterback isn't willing to get his jersey dirty and dive after footballs, why should anybody else?
Because they were in position. They could have done it, but the guys in position didn't get the football. The quarterback can't dive for a football that is 5 feet in front of him with 3 big guys in front of him and expect to get it. If it's bouncing in front of him, that's one thing.
It didn't have to be 5 feet in front of him. It didn't have to be 5 feet in front of him. He knew he dropped the football and still ran away from it.
Yes, because he was in the motion of making a throw. Look at where his eyes were because of the play call. He was looking. It was a rollout play. He was looking.
So you're sitting there telling me quarterbacks have no idea whether they have the football in their hand.
I didn't say no idea. I said with the play design, the way it looked, his eyes were looking at the right. It was either a bootleg play or a rollout play or maybe some kind of exotic play action because his eyes were looking at the right. So by the time the Niners defender fell on the ball, he couldn't react to it in time where he knew he wasn't going to get it. So at that point, he wasn't diving.
That's absolute crap.
Look at his eyes, Jeff.
That's absolute crap. That's absolute crap.
And I think it's the same thing that happened with Cam Newton. He was waiting for the ball, and he was going to run with it. He trusted his legs.
So look at it. So look at his eyes. Oh, I'm going to look at his eyes. Guess what? I'm also going to look at his hand. What's not in his hand? The football.
Right, but that happens with those kinds of plays. If there's an RPO that is messed up with a miscommunication, somebody be looking at the wrong way and not get the ball cleanly. Running backs do that. Quarterbacks do that. Tyler makes fun of Lamar Jackson for fumbling all the time. That's a big reason for it. He's looking the wrong way.
No. Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball because his hands are too small.
Right, but because
Aaron Rodgers has held the ball for 15 years. There's a difference.
I know that, but my point is guys could be out of position based on a type of play, an RPO or a play action. That
Green Bay has no RPOs in their whole arsenal, so why would we even bring that up?
I'm not talking about specifically RPOs. There's motion plays. There's plays where the quarterback isn't just standing in one spot and throwing the ball. That was one of them.
So your argument to me, seriously, your argument to me is we should give Aaron Rodgers a pass because where his eyes were looking.
Because of the play call. Because of the play call, yes.
How many times before Aaron Rodgers throws the football does he look into his hand to make sure the football's in his hand before he throws it?
I'm sure every time, Jeff. But my point is...
You think he looks into his hand every time? You really are an idiot. You really are the dumbest person on the planet. If you think he looks into his hand to
not for long. I'm not saying he stares at them. I'm saying... I'm sure if he feels a bobble, he'll look at it and say, all right, let me secure that. If he feels a bobble. On a normal snap, okay. You're not looking, okay, fine. I understand what you're saying. But my point is, if you have a play that's designed for the right.
Away from center, you're telling me he moves back away from center without the football because he thought he had it in his hand?
Well, yeah, if he doesn't feel the ball, okay. But my point is, if your body and eyes are headed in one direction, and all of a sudden something goes wrong, you're not going to necessarily.
But he didn't even look. He knows the ball wasn't in his hand, and the ball literally was just laying there, and you can see Aaron Rodgers basically go,
because he was all.
I don't want to go get it
because it was a play to the right because he couldn't get it at that point.
All I know is Andrew Luck would have dove for that ball. Tom Brady would have dove for that ball. Eli Manning would have dove for that ball. Any quarterback you can want on your team would have dove for that ball.
Even on that exact same play call?
I'm not saying they get it, but they dive for it. And I love you to death, and I've never really disagreed with you more in my life. But I have to tell you that if Matt LaFleur has the attitude you have right now, he will be out of a job this time next year. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers, and I said this last year and the year before that and the year before that, they need to either tell Aaron Rodgers you're either going to act like a leader or you're out.
Okay.
We'll trade you.
Now, let me ask you on this. The example I brought up before was Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson in a playoff game against Minnesota, high snap, the ball's running all over the place. Russell Wilson goes down and chases it. And again,
he chases it.
Right.
So whether he got the ball or not is irrelevant. He chased the ball.
And again, it's 20 yards back. Something's going to happen. What do you just want him to do? You just want him to throw it away. No, he tries to be all fancy and run with it and extends the play. Now, he makes the play. Give him credit for making the play. Now, again,
if it's me, I want him to look into his hands first to make sure he has the ball.
But still, let's say Aaron Rodgers does that too. What would Aaron Rodgers do in that situation as well? You can't just nitpick just because it didn't work.
Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have chased the ball.
If it was behind him and
Aaron
he was
Rodgers
the
would
closest
not
guy
chase
to
the ball.
it.
Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have gone after the football. I really believe Aaron Rodgers would not have gone after the football.
If it went behind him?
Yes. I don't believe that. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers would have made a play like that. I don't think he would have picked it up. I don't think he would have done anything. I think he would have just kind of...
All right, Peyton Manning, the high snap of the Super Bowl.
He's just another
Should he have
guy
dove on
the
it?
Overrated list.
Hold on. Should Peyton
Oh,
Manning...
absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is insanely overrated.
Should Peyton Manning have dove on the high snap of the first play of the Super Bowl?
Wasn't that a safety?
Yeah. Should he have dove on that?
Snapped out of the end zone.
The first... Speedy,
Thank you, Jeff. Physically, it's not possible.
Snapped out of the end zone.
But Peyton Manning turned around and meant to go after it.
Yeah, he looked.
Right.
Once he realized
Aaron Rodgers would have
right.
just sat there and looked back and go, all right, it's
He
snapped.
looked, and once he said, nope, this is too far for me to get, I'm going to trust my
Speedy,
teammates to fall on it.
He put the effort in to go, okay, I cannot physically get this ball. Aaron Rodgers would not have done that.
That's a little harsh.
I don't know why you love Aaron Rodgers all of a
I don't
sudden.
know why you're being so harsh on him.
I'm not being harsh. He's the reason they lost the game, and he quit.
You're nitpicking.
I'm not nitpicking. Speedy, I watched the entire game, and I promise you this. He, at no point in the game after the first quarter, looked interested. By the way, they were outscored 27-0 in the first
Peyton Manning
half.
look disinterested when they were getting blown out by
No!
the Seahawks?
No, he didn't. He looked pissed off.
Okay, that's similarly.
No,
all
it's
right.
not. Being disinterested is me sitting here going, all right, well, it's 10 o'clock now. We're going to go home. Me pissed off sitting here going, you're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about is completely different than me going, oh, all right, you're done? Okay,
but
we'll go home now.
That's
not similar at all.
So what's the difference between frustrated and reckless and disinterested?
I don't care if I win or lose. You're paying the man how much money a year? I don't care if I win or lose.
So you'd rather have
You're lost. You're absolutely nuts.
You'd rather have him be reckless.
Here's the
Reckless.
difference.
He doesn't care enough to be reckless. He doesn't care.
it's the same
Greg
difference.
Jennings, who was his favorite target when he was there, came out and said he's not a leader. He doesn't know how to lead a team. His brother doesn't like him. What other combination do you need to go, you know what? Maybe he's just not the guy that everyone thinks he is. He's not an all-time talent. He's not the greatest Packer of all time. He's not the greatest Packer quarterback I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm not saying he is. I'm saying you're nitpicking on Aaron Rodgers
I'm
where there's
not
plenty of other
nitpicking.
guys that do that.
But who does it fall on? If the Patriots quit on Sunday, who's the first one they're calling out? Tom Brady.
Maybe it's unfair. We don't know.
It's not unfair. Tom Brady sets the precedent.
Hold on. We're not nitpicking Aaron Rodgers. This whole thing started because I said Aaron Rodgers is constantly getting a pass. People killed Cam Newton for not jumping
Did I
on the
kill
ball.
Cam
Why are
Newton?
we
No.
not-
No, I'm not killing Cam Newton either. I'm telling you what it looked like Cam Newton was doing. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers gets a pass that Cam Newton doesn't.
Dude, everyone I know killed Cam Newton for not falling on that football. Everyone. That ball was literally at his feet, and he jumped out of the way of people getting on the football. That's awful.
All right. So now how many of those people would kill Aaron Rodgers, too? It's the same logic of what you're going to go by. So maybe I disagree on the physical notion of it, which is fine. All right. I'm not gonna specifically nitpick on Aaron Rodgers versus Cam Newton or Aaron Rodgers versus Peyton Manning.
Oh, I would rather have Cam Newton.
Right, but
Cam Newton cares about winning at least.
Cam Newton did the same thing, and
No. The first fumble he had in that football game, Von Miller literally ripped it out of his hands.
I'm not blaming. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what everyone's bashing him for not picking up the ball and bashing Aaron Rodgers for, you have to do it on the same level. It doesn't matter who they are as a player. You like Cam Newton and not Aaron Rodgers, which is exactly my point.
No. Aaron Rodgers quit on a whole half. He quit on a whole team. He gave up. Cam Newton, for one play, didn't dive for a football. The entire rest of the game, Cam Newton was playing regular Cam Newton MVP level. Aaron Rodgers did not look interested at all during the first half. At all. Completely and utterly.
What happens when you have a blowout? And it's not just him. Blowout playoff games, that happens. I just said that with the Giants.
They lost by 17. Okay? So let's just do this.
And they were down by 27.
If you don't botch the fumble and you don't throw that pick at the half, you're only down by 7 points.
Okay.
You won time of possession. You had more first downs. Don't tell me that, oh, well, it's okay that he quit in the first half because there's no difference to be made here. If he didn't quit on the first half, he actually might have been able to do one of those typical Aaron Rodgers comeback victories. He's not a playoff quarterback. I've been saying this, which is why I didn't have him beat Seattle. Stop. Stop with the nonsense.
Tyler.
Stop.
No,
Don't say anything asinine right now.
No, I'm not. I'm going to give you cold hard facts. You're talking about one of those old great Aaron Rodgers comebacks. He would have had time. Do you know what Aaron Rodgers' record is when trailing in the fourth quarter against teams with a better than 500 record?
0-38.
0-38. So don't give me the typical Aaron Rodgers comeback.
Oh no, are you not? Are you only listening? Because I did the air quote thing. These are what people say that I don't believe. Air quotes.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Sorry. Oh no, it's fine. I did the bunny ears. I promise. But no, that's what I'm saying. But thank you for bringing that stat up. I even forgot that stat. We all act like Aaron Rodgers is this amazing. Woo, yeah, he's great. Wee! Every time he throws the football, it's gold. Woo, woo! I can throw it with no hands.
All of his amazing comebacks are all against horrible teams.
Or losses.
He really is. You know who he really is? 2019 Dak Prescott with better PR.
What?
He can only beat bad teams.
I tell you, look at the numbers.
Otherwise, how do you get to 0-38 against when you're trailing in the fourth quarter against teams with a better 500 record, and still have people going, "Oh my God, he pulls off all these amazing comebacks"? Does he? Does he? He's Dak Prescott with better PR
and a lot more arm talent.
Yeah, okay, more arm talent. It doesn't mean that the only time he wins is against bad teams.
He's won.
Why has he never beaten a winning team coming from behind? Why has he never done that?
He's only won
he's had
2 or more playoff games twice.
2 or more in terms of what?
Playoffs.
Each round you're talking about?
Yes.
Or each year? Okay. Yeah, the Super Bowl and 2016.
Is that not a concern? 2009.
2009, they lost a classic. I remember that game. That
All right, fine.
51-45. And, okay, you can't really blame him for that, a high-scoring game.
All right, fine. That's fine. That's 1 of 8. Okay. 2011.
2011, okay.
Awful.
Okay.
2012.
Not his fault. Kaepernick ran all over the defense.
He lost to Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick ran.
Hold that thought. Hold on here. Colin Kaepernick, the same guy that half the planet goes isn't good enough to be a backup. That guy?
He was that.
Whoa, hold on. I think everyone universally agrees that he has the talent to at least be a backup. And I'm not saying starter, but why isn't he in the league right now? Bad PR, right?
Well, that and he's an idiot, but that's beside the point.
But that's part of the PR scheme, right? But that's what that is. Are you going to sit there and tell me, dude, I'll tell you this right now. I don't even care what you think. You talk about backup quarterbacks. I would take 4 years out of the league see Colin Kaepernick over Cooper Rush right now.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fair. All right, that's.
But
a
still,
good point.
then he was a star.
He's not no Teddy Bridgewater. He's no shit. I would take AJ McCarron over Colin Kaepernick right now. Just to be completely honest with you.
Hold on. Whether you would take some of these guys or not, you can't sit there and tell me that there aren't.
Sure, he's a middle of the tier backup. Okay, fine. But the point of the matter is, are we really about to bail out on Aaron Rodgers because he lost to a backup quarterback? Come on now. So, 2013. I blame him for that.
2013, they barely got in. That was, I think.
Stop, you're in. I don't want to hear this crap that he barely got in. You're in the playoffs. You were in a chance to win the Super Bowl. You lost again.
Hold on.
No, hold on.
He came back down 10 to tie the game, and then their defense blew it. They lost 23-20.
Okay, so that's still a loss, right?
Yeah.
2014.
He leads a drive to come back and tie the game. And losing is his.
He's had two game-winning drives in the playoffs and one fourth-quarter comeback.
All right,
so clearly there's a disconnect with you and what's going on.
And there are 3 times, the 3 losses in a row, the 49ers, the Seahawks, which you're about to get to, and Arizona. He led game-tying drives before witnessing his defense blow it. That's his fault? No.
Then you want to know what? Then I don't want anyone to bring up Tom Brady's 3 losses in the Super Bowl anymore because the defense blew it twice. I want 2 more Super Bowl rings for Tom Brady because his defense blew it.
But who bashed Tom Brady for that?
Dude,
everyone.
You're talking. Your record is what your record is. You don't get to sit there and go, "Oh, because his defense blew it." Otherwise, let's Tom Brady's.
That's
8-1 in Super Bowls right now.
9-0.
Right.
9-0. What are you talking about? Malcolm Butler didn't play, and he's a drop pass away from leading another game-winning drive.
Right, and I just said for the 2009 playoff game against Arizona, where they lost 51-45, I gave him a pass. The same thing with Brady against the Eagles. It's a 41-33 game. That's not on you.
But what scares me the most about you?
Oh, because the defense blew it. You're looking for excuses to try to justify that he never beat.
I say that with any quarterback. I said the same thing with Drew Brees when.
Hold on here. There's a difference between what Drew Brees' defense did and what Aaron Rodgers' team did.
That's fine. I'm not.
The Saints did not quit in that game. The Saints were down 10?
No, I didn't say
the Saints were down in that game, and Drew Brees had an awful first half. He had a great second half that forced overtime. Aaron Rodgers didn't force overtime.
I understand
Aaron Rodgers was the kid to death.
I'm not comparing the games. I'm comparing the fact that with any quarterback, no matter what I think of them, I will always give them leeway if they give a lead a drive to tie the game and the defense blows it. I'm not gonna judge that. Yes, Drew Brees is a better quarterback. I understand that. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is on the same level of Drew Brees because they did that in both their playoff losses. No, if a quarterback leads a game-tying drive and then the defense blows it or they don't get a possession in overtime to get a chance, I'm not going to blame the quarterback for that. I'm not going to blame Patrick Mahomes for losing to the Patriots because they didn't get the ball in overtime. Same kind of thing.
But do you see who Pat Mahomes lost to?
What do you mean?
Who did Pat Mahomes lose to?
The Patriots.
Tom Brady.
Okay, what's your point?
My point is, don't
that
you
his fault?
No, but don't you think that at some point in that game, a first-year starter, Pat Mahomes, might have had a moment in that football game to go, I could ice this right now and kill Tom Brady right now, and didn't have the opportunity. He didn't do it, whether it was instinct or whether it was not used to the moment or he just didn't know at the time.
Though. He led 2 different game-tying drives, and one that
but
gave him the lead.
But he couldn't put Tom Brady away because, unlike Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady does not quit. Tom Brady was down 41-33. He was down 28-3 to Atlanta, right?
Okay.
Everyone they had a 0.01% chance of winning that football game, and they went to overtime because the leader of the team, Tom Brady, did not quit and told the whole rest of the team, don't worry about a damn thing because I'm going to win this game for us.
Okay.
So the team fell in line with that, and they went on to win a Super Bowl.
Right. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has none of that ability. He has none of the leadership, none of the qualities that any other star quarterback that's won Super Bowls have. He doesn't care. He's a selfish, unwitting quarterback that only cares about him. That's why Brett Favre didn't want to teach him. That's why Matt Flynn didn't want to learn from him. That's why Green Bay kicked out Mike McCarthy. That's why Green Bay will never win another Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers on its roster. Aaron Rodgers is the kiss of death, and the Green Bay Packers might as well just sit there and pay him out now. You're not winning nothing with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. You've got number 12. You've got the wrong one. Aaron Rodgers is the problem in Green Bay.
But nobody said he's better than those quarterbacks, though.
But you've got people saying he's the greatest quarterback to ever touch a football.
Yeah,
whether we agree or disagree, people think this.
That's not right. Nobody's saying that.
People say he's the great.
No, nobody's saying that opinion is true.
Hold on. Aaron Rodgers, this is how stupid people are. Aaron Rodgers on Sunday had 40 touchdowns in the postseason. It's a Packer record, right? I guarantee you, if you polled 100 people, the majority of them will say they take Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre or Bart Starr.
Recency bias, right. Recency bias. Everyone
No,
does that.
I guarantee you that people will actually think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest Packer of all time.
Yes, because of recency bias. That's a common thing, too.
But it's a joke.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers' touchdowns are garbage time.
I mean, who would you say is the greatest Packer of all time? Because I have a dude that I think is the greatest Packer of all time that I don't think anyone's even considering.
Lombardi?
You're talking about a player or a quarterback?
A player.
Any player.
I mean, you're probably going to say Reggie White, which is
I
hard to
was
argue.
gonna say
Was he
Reggie
there
White.
long enough, though?
I am going to say Reggie White. Argue Reggie White. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to argue Reggie White, but I personally would go with Brett Favre just because of the. To me, Reggie White is an Eagle. To me,
Right. He was, a Packer for, 6 years?
right. Yeah. That's the only argument I have against Brett Favre is a full Packer. Well, not full Packer, but most of his years were in Green Bay.
Right.
So that's why I lean with Brett Favre. You're 100% right. Reggie White's on there, Mount Rushmore. I won't disagree with that whatsoever. But to me, Brett Favre is the greatest Packer of all time.
Give me Reggie.
I mean, if I'm starting a team, I'd probably take Reggie White because I know where I'm going to get my quarterback later. But, unfortunately, if I have to take the face of the Packers.
Reggie's the best, man.
He was. Absolutely. He was. I mean, a lot of people consider him better than Lawrence Taylor.
I mean, I'm not going there because I think Taylor's probably the best dude. But, I mean, if there's a 1A, give me Reggie. Or a 1B, I mean, Reggie's the guy.
I completely understand. And just imagine this, all right? Just imagine this. He retired in 98 the first time with 16 sacks. And he came back with 5.5 the year after in Carolina. So imagine if he played in 1999 and he hits another 10 sacks. That's 208 sacks. Depending on how history goes after that, he might be the all-time sack leader. Just food for thought. Just food for thought.
I mean, I can't name anyone better than Reggie. Reggie was just totally awesome.
I agree. But again, most of his sacks came in Philly. So I have to put him as an Eagle. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I am going to say that I put him as an Eagle over the Packers.
I mean, I'm not going to blame a dude or penalize a dude and say he's not, a full Packer, because he played somewhere else. Like a lot of guys played other places.
No, I know that. I don't penalize him for that. If he played a year as an Eagle and then 12 years as a Packer, that's fine. But he played 8 years as an Eagle and 6 as a Packer. So I'm not. Does that argument make sense to you? Why I would consider him an Eagle?
I understand.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, it's kind of equal time.
No, you're absolutely right. But the production for the Eagles was much higher, almost like double the sacks. Brett Favre.
The production with the Eagles was higher because why though?
Well, he was younger and probably better at that point, but that's fine. I get that point too.
And he basically was playing with a dude that was his equal.
No, that's also a valid point. But to me, what Brett Favre did in Green Bay is just legendary. I mean, he's arguably, well, before 2000, well, no, not that. But when Brett Favre retired, he was probably the greatest quarterback that ever lived. Now, that's not the case. But he's certainly top 5 in my book all time. But I do appreciate you calling, buddy. We are actually way over time here. And tomorrow there will be a new host if you want to come and initiate him.
Not really.
Oh, okay. Figured I'd give you the opportunity to,
No, Speedy's just an idiot. I'm just dumbfounded at the things Speedy does. It's just, I just can't. I can't believe sometimes I want to like the kid, and he just makes it. He's just so not likable sometimes. It's just incredible how.
This is the first time I've actually disagreed with him. Yeah, this is the first time I can remember him, making me go, "You're actually lost." But
I mean,
it was bound to happen.
I mean, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I didn't kill Cam Newton for not jumping on the ball. Well, you should have, because that was awful.
No, I'd rather have someone be fair and defend both than nitpick over one and not the other.
I don't nitpick. I bash Cam Newton.
I didn't say you. I said people that defended Aaron Rodgers and bashed Cam Newton. Or vice versa.
Aaron Rodgers is an idiot. All Aaron Rodgers cares about is making State Farm commercials.
Yeah.
I'm done with Aaron Rodgers. He's overrated.
He is very overrated.
Overrated. Name me someone more overrated than Aaron Rodgers.
LeBron James.
Of course.
Hell no. Hell no. You can at least, dude, LeBron is, I don't care what you think about LeBron James. He's top 5 of all time, and I'm doing that being very conservative. Don't you think?
Probably. But people say he's the GOAT, so to me that's overrated.
Hold on. You can't sit there and tell me a dude is overrated when he's top 5 all time, conservatively top 5 all time. Now, I'm still going to have Jordan 1. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to have Jordan 1.
Right.
I would have LeBron 2. And then, unfortunately, I probably would have Bill Russell 3.
I'd probably have Russell 2. Or Kareem 2. I don't know.
Kareem.
I haven't really done it.
But I think Bill Russell's fair.
Right. But LeBron's got to be top 5. How do you call a dude that top 5 overrated?
Because he's not the greatest of all time, so that to me, if you get that label, you're overrated.
It's the same kind of thing that I was saying before, recency bias. People will do that.
He's not even the greatest player from 2000 on.
But he's still playing now, so people label him. And plus,
I'll tell
one
you
of the
who's
biggest
overrated.
things is longevity.
Speedy Petey is overrated.
Well, you gonna say anything,
more
Speedy?
overrated than Speedy.
Dak Prescott.
Terrible.
Let's just go bash the Cowboys again. That's always fun.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to get the heat off you. That's what I'm trying to do.
I know. Bashing the Cowboys is a good way to
Speedy's
do
almost on the level of the Beeb tonight.
Oh, sugar, honey,
that.
iced tea.
No, you won't go there, Jeff. You
The
wouldn't
way
do
you
that.
defended Aaron Rodgers is just absolutely, utterly
No, I
ridiculous.
defended the positioning of quarterbacks. I wasn't specifically targeting Aaron Rodgers. It was also
And
Cam
then you were
Newton.
like, well, he can't hold this against them because his defense blew it. He's still lost.
Look at the game, Jeff.
He's still lost.
What should they have do? Gone for 2 to win, to have him
Yes.
win the game?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, okay. And then it would.
Well, if you know your defense is going to give up 500 yards, then yeah, you should probably get ahead somehow.
Yeah, okay.
There's winners
So-
and there's losers.
Yeah, and how would he look? And how would he be scrutinized if they missed the 2-point conversion? If he made
It
a
wouldn't
bad
be on
throw?
him. It would be, all right.
If he
you
made a
can
bad
get-
throw in the 2-point conversion, yeah, he probably would be on him.
Well, a
You're
bad
right.
throw and a 2-point conversion to win the game, yeah, that deserves to be
Okay,
blamed on you.
all right. So that all of a sudden looks worse than him losing just because he led a game-tying drive. And
No,
losing?
it would look worse with the 2-point conversion.
all right.
But, again, that's
I don't know. I gotta
With his
I don't
hand
know,
on the
I gotta
football.
Be honest with you. I gotta be honest with you. If I'm a coach, just for me, when the game's on the line, I don't know. I'd like to have the game in my best player's hands.
Right. I was definitely going
If I
for
know
two.
my
You would have gone.
if I know
That's
my
again. That's the
if
coach
I know
too.
my
though.
defense
That's-
stinks.
Right. Well, let's look at the other biggest misconception of the century, shall we?
Okay.
Did you bash Pete Carroll for throwing the football at the 2-yard line?
Not entirely Pete Carroll. No.
All right. Well, then that ends this conversation.
Not entirely him. Also the offensive coordinator too.
Well, Pete Carroll made the play call, so there's only one person to blame.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you, Tyler. I definitely do not bash Pete Carroll for that.
Yes, Jeff.
We know you won't.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You asked, do I blame him for that play call? For me, I say no.
I wonder why.
I'm just
You know what's
telling
crazy? Malcolm Butler said that he knew that play from the snap. From the snap of the lineup, they knew where the ball was
I
going.
believe it to an extent because Brandon Browner used to play in Seattle too. They probably practiced that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Bill
First of all,
Belichick had that play
there's-
written down. He said, I know what they're about to do.
First
Be
of all,
there.
First of all, he's absolutely right. He did. There's a documentary on that season called "Do Your Job," and they literally show Malcolm Butler coming over the top of Brandon Browner in OTAs in summer workouts, and they have the play on tape, and they kept referring back to it. Malcolm Butler's absolutely correct. He knew pre-snap that play was coming.
No, I didn't doubt it at all. I've heard Malcolm Butler say it, so I took his word for it. But, yeah.
Absolutely the truth. You could go back to that documentary. It's called "Do Your Job," and it's about that season. And they totally go with it. They interview. Do you know who Ernie Adams is?
No, I do not.
Ernie Adams is like, if you think Bill Belichick is an evil genius, go look up Ernie Adams. He does statistical probabilities of play calls for the Patriots. Oh, when they're in, two tight ends, one running back, they run off tackle 16% of the time, blah, 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 whatever.
Interesting.
And so he relays that information to Belichick, and that's how they play it. So when they came out in that formation, Ernie Adams was like, I told them there was an 82% chance that it was going to be the slant, and that's why they sent in Malcolm Butler.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, if you don't like the Patriots, you're obviously going to hate it because it just documents how they won that game and like that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's
No, but it
absolutely
shows
right.
just how much they
Absolutely right.
micromanage the game too. It's impressive.
Right,
Jeff?
but it just also shows you how far ahead of Bill Belichick is than everyone else. How many teams have a dude solely studying this probability?
I'm sure it's not many. I didn't even know the position existed.
It's outrageous.
Right.
But I, for one, do not blame Pete Carroll for that play call. So, if you're asking me, Tyler, no, I think that you're wrong. I don't blame him.
Well, yeah, the Patriots were gift-wrapped the Super Bowl. But the reason I bring...
And honestly, if you go back and look at it, there's a reason why that play call was called there.
Well, right, but...
Seattle only had one timeout.
Right. I get it. I understand. But, again, there was enough time on the play to get 2 or 3 plays off if they had huddled back to the line.
Right.
But
At the 2-yard line, it's
wasn't, though.
condensed. Well, it depends on where you
Well,
are. If it's an
here's the-
outside run where you're out of bounds or something like that, or try to get out of bounds, that's different. But
Well,
if
not
they
only that-
if they just
Here's
called
the
a
thing, Tyler.
condensed formation
Hold on.
with a goal line play,
Hold on.
that's different.
Hold on. We're talking in hindsight here. You said that the play call wouldn't have been good because you didn't care the best player. You want the conservative. All right, we're going to go with it, right? Marshawn Lynch.
My problem with the play call was the fact that it was a middle of the field pass against a goal line defense.
Well, in a slant route, you're beating the corner 9 out of 10 times, so it made
Right,
sense
but usually
to
a
go
goal
there.
line defense, there's 3 guys in the middle, so odds are they're all not blitzing, so somebody's back.
Right, but a slant,
A slant.
you're probably not going to get touched by the guy dropping back. You realize that, right?
Well, if you throw it early
The
enough, yeah.
Malcolm Butler, the only reason Malcolm Butler was there because, again, he knew the play. He
Right.
knew exactly where to go.
Right, but my point is, I wouldn't have. If I'm an offensive coordinator, I wouldn't be thinking, all right, we're on the 2-yard line. They're probably
Right,
doing a
so-
goal line defense. Let's throw a middle of the field pass.
Right. Now, this is where my problem with you lies. What did everyone on the planet say was the number one option to do at that point in time?
Run the ball.
Because who was their best player?
Marshawn Lynch.
So Marshawn Lynch would have had the attitude of touching that football going, all right, I got the ball now. I might as well, just stand here. I don't really want to be on the field, No, Marshawn Lynch was so pissed off about that, he retired. Aaron Rodgers does not hold that weight. Aaron Rodgers is not retiring because they ran the football or they didn't let him throw a 2-point conversion. Aaron Rodgers probably said, well, all right, we'll just go to overtime and whatever happens, happens. That's a bad attitude to have.
Right, but most instances, you're not going for 2 anyway.
To win the game? Yeah, you are.
The coach will get scrutinized if they do that in a playoff game and they fail.
If they fail.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is considered a top 10 all-time talented quarterback. Why would you fail a 2-point conversion? He's miraculous. He has all these fourth-quarter bombshells. He's always done the right thing in the fourth quarter. He's maleficent. He's great. He's awesome. He's Aaron Rodgers. Why not let him throw a 2-point conversion? You play to win the game. You're not playing for overtime. You play to win. If I go for it on 4th and goal, so be it. So be it.
Well, then from your logic, that's Mike McCarthy's fault.
Maybe. But why'd Mike McCarthy get fired?
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers wanted him out.
Okay, but my point is, I think
you're kind of missing the other
99% of instances like that, they would take the points because they know they're going to look stupid if their team misses a 2-point conversion.
You're missing the last piece of the puzzle for that, though. Seriously. Like, if I had San Francisco's defense this year, or Baltimore's defense this year, or Seattle's defense for the Super Bowl,
right,
I take the point and take my chances on defense, right? Because your defense can get a stop.
Well,
this Packers defense is horrible. Horrible. I'm not trusting them to do anything.
Well, right. That even furthers my logic as to if the quarterback quits, your defense is held together by rubber bands at this point anyway. Why would you play hard? Why? Your head coach doesn't know what he's calling. Your quarterback quit. I'm snubbed from the Pro Bowl. You know what? Yeah, I'm not. I'm just going to let San Francisco run over me. That's the attitude they had. Watching the game, it was clear. It was clear as crystal to me that Green Bay quit. I don't know how that's an argument. I really don't. I'm surprised no one else agrees. Green Bay quit. They quit. But hey, tomorrow Eric will be here. Jordan will be here. Yes, Jordan will be here. They will be here Thursdays with me from now on. The home stretch is getting a new look on Thursday.
Anything's better than Speedy at this point, I guess, right?
Speedy will also be here on Thursday.
Jesus. Unbelievable. Speedy, you're really losing your keen edge, man. You're really arguing some dumb shit.
God forbid I argue a quarterback that's out of position.
He wasn't out. He was the closest one to the football.
No, the center that botched the snap was the closest one to the football.
But who knew first that the botch was snapped? The center that has to let go of the football, or the quarterback that has to take it?
Whoever was seeing it first.
That's exactly the point, though. No, because he didn't look into his hand. How was he supposed to go?
I said the play design. I didn't say his hands. I said the play design.
Honestly, Speedy, that to me is the biggest takeaway that he quit. That's a routine play of football that he makes 100 out of 100 times. He quit so he didn't put the amount of effort into it to make sure that he had the football in his hands. That to me is like, it's not a ticket that you're right. To me, it's like a golden carousel as to like, oh, all right, he did quit. Yeah, okay.
Okay, but then why aren't you saying the same thing for everyone else?
I did say it for everyone else. Cam Newton quit on the play. Yes, cost him a Super Bowl.
Okay. But
so what do you mean for everyone else?
Okay, it seems like you're just nitpicking on Aaron Rodgers. And also, in comparison...
When does this ever happen?
In comparison, bad snaps? I'm sure they happen all the time.
In a playoff game? To go to the Super Bowl?
I can't listen to this anymore. Dude, have a good night, Tyler. I'm done. I can't listen to Speedy's horrible. Speedy, you suck so bad right now. It's not even funny. You should go home and look at yourself in the mirror and just ask, what am I doing? Jesus Christmas.
What?
You all right?
I don't know.
All I know is if the quarterback quits, the team will quit. It's common sense. We're not talking about this anymore. We're about to leave, but we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Obviously, Eric will be here and Jordan will be here. Speedy will be back. I'll be back. So we'll be able to kind of talk about this more calm because Jeff definitely was not calm. But it's all right. I've never actually thought you were that wrong before. You're the last person on this network that now gets that resume, which is a compliment to yourself, I think.
Sure. However you want to put it. I didn't know this was a competition.
No, but I knew at some point in time I would deem something you said asinine. I just didn't know it'd be 3 years in.
I'm sure we've had arguments before, though.
Yeah, but I could always see your logic. This is the first time I'm looking at you going, I think you're lost right now.
All right.
Anyway, Speedy, we are in the end game now. I don't even think I should have let you snap just now, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a good person.
It is routine.
Yes, it is. It is routine.
But
if you didn't put the right effort into it, guess what you wouldn't have done just now? Snap. Tell them where they can find us.
Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, on our website at worldwidesportsradio.com. We are one of only
16.
Interesting way to do it.
16. Sorry, I'll never do that again.
Sports radio networks and podcasts on radio.com.
Sorry, I'm yelling at Snugs.
Snugs?
Yeah, he made a comment about Antonio Brown. Can't have that. He needs help. Seriously. Again, tomorrow, we'll try to break down the AFC NFC championship games because I haven't done it yet. It's going to be Thursday.
We got the last games for a while.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Oh, well. Tomorrow we'll do it. And tomorrow I'm definitely going to do what I wanted to do originally, which is go through the entire league and repair all the damage done to the teams. Off-season agendas for all your favorite teams. All 32 of them. Because San Francisco and Kansas City clearly have their destinies already bestowed, so that's fun. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 8 to 10. Speedy said all the good stuff. And, yeah, so we'll be back. We're here every day, 8 to 10 p.m. I got nothing. All right, say goodbye, Speedy.
Thanks for listening, and have a glorious night.
Ooh, there's a little mustard on that. Oh, yep. That a little bit of Jeff frustration I see?
Well, I'm used to it.
No, that's true. Well, that means I have to top it. My throat hurts. That's great.
Oh, the frog is back.
I don't know. I think it's just something that's not really going away. It's irritating. Never mind. I got nothing. I was going to make fun of Guido again, but it didn't make sense. Anyway. Yeah, so tomorrow, I'm actually really excited for tomorrow. I very rarely get excited, no offense, but I like arguing with people.
You don't say.
No, I don't say. But again, it's going to be a little conservative tomorrow, and then next Thursday we'll probably lay it on thick. But you know, we can't scare them too much. We can't. I promised that I was going to be nice, and I'm going to try my best not to go 0 to 100 as fast as possible. But I talked to Eric. You were in the car. I talked to Eric for a while last night, and
So you'll basically be good until somebody either praises Aaron Boone or insults Odell.
It depends on the logic used, but, it's not that I hate Aaron Boone. I'm actually coming around to Aaron Boone. I just don't think Aaron Boone's a top 5 manager in the American League. That's all. And I've got my 5. It's not like I'm nitpicking. I know my 5 I definitively take. That's all. Mm-hmm. And I think all 5 of them, I've told you the list. I think that there are legit 5.
No, I know. I agree.
See? So I don't really think it's that logic. He's definitely not the best manager in the American League East. That I'm not wavering on. He's not the best manager in his own division. That is a certainty. If Kevin Cash was the Yankee manager, we'd be 150-0. They wouldn't even play the postseason. That's how dominant we'd be. Mm-hmm. But anyway, say goodbye, Speedy.
I did already.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Damn, that was bad. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Everyone have a glorious night. Hey.
Nice.
Tomorrow's what, Thursday? Mm-hmm. The Morning Boys. Morning Boys. 8?
8 to 11.
8 to 11. They kind of know what they're doing tomorrow. Kind of excited for it myself. So definitely stay tuned for them tomorrow morning. In the meantime, Antonio Brown, I really hope you get your life together. I guess we'll see how that goes. But ABC, right? Damn, I'm not gonna end the show making fun of Antonio Brown. I promise. No. Nope, not doing it. But anyway, we will be back tomorrow. And it's definitely something that no one's going to want to miss. And we'll see you tomorrow. See ya!
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.